For sure. When I didn't get approached to sign an extension last summer, that caught me by surprise, and it was something that I expressed at training camp, and certainly that was probably the start of it, the start of the writing on the wall. I didn't quite understand why, but I didn't ask too many questions, just went about and played hard and didn't let that affect me. And after the season, I knew both sides were going to want to try to get something done and do something that was mutually beneficial for both sides. It just felt like, I was the one that was making a lot of the concessions, and that certainly came into play. But again, when you get into these things, like I said, you have hope until the last minute, and then when you don't hear anything or nothing changes, then you have to be able to adapt and just make a decision. That's the toughest part, is trying to hang on to something that maybe it isn't trying to hang on to you. And that was the tough part for sure. But like I said, the memories I've had in Tampa will trump whatever, ill will or feelings I've had throughout this process, because those are temporary. Those are emotional decisions. And, as time passes, those usually go away. It's remembering the amazing times growing up in that city as an 18-year-old kid to where I am now. having a family, obviously winning, the fans, the city, everything has been first class. And those are the things that you remember. You're sad it didn't work out maybe the way you wanted to, but a new chapter is opening up in my family's life. And that's something we're excited about.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web here on a happy
Hump Day
edition. How do we start it off? As you know them, you love them. You got to have them a day before the fireworks really begin. But, fireworks are here also on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. On tonight's show, we'll have the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions and Amped Up Sports. We'll have Ozzie, the sports junkie, returning to the Sports Web, talking what else about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, about what has transpired this week with the Tampa Bay Lightning and Steven Stamkos, and of course the Tampa Bay Rays, who were up 1-0, but once again, I don't have too much good luck when I go live and watch this team usually. Now the Royals are up 2-1. So we'll keep you up to date on that situation as the Rays won last night. Let's see if they can take it tonight. There is some rain in the forecast, but right now the Royals have 2 men on. One man out here with Pepio pitching. So Pepio pitching, say that 3 times. Can he get out of this jam? If he can, then I think the Rays will have an opportunity here. But 2-1 Royals in the bottom of the third. I know there's going to be lots of passionate people about the betrayal of Steven Stamkos, but it is a two-way street, Mr. Mike DeRoche. But you could definitely have an opinion on this show. That's what it's all about. No Ralph Williams tonight, no Mark Mancini. They thought because it was a holiday week that we were taking off. We didn't. But we'll still have Turnbuckle Talk as we talk WWE, AEW action. We're supposed to have Harry on. Don't know if he's coming on. Supposed to have Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy coming on. Don't know if he's coming on. But guess what? We have each other, as we always do on this show on Monday and Wednesday nights. And we also have phone lines. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. I'm going to do the show whether I have a guest or not. But I have some great guests tonight. And hopefully I have some great phone calls, some interaction, some great Bucs stuff to talk about. We talked about it today on the JP Peterson Show. Adam Rank of NFL Media, NFL Network, predicting the Bucs to be 6-11. So the national media disrespect of the Bucs continues. What can we do? Look, you could say you're Canadian all day long and you know hockey. It's not about knowing hockey. It's about the business of sports. I mean, you could sit here and we had this conversation off air. And this is probably the reason why I don't talk hockey with you, because you seem like a hockey snob. Sorry, hate to tell you, hate to burst your bubble, but just because you watch all kinds of hockey doesn't mean I don't know hockey, and it also doesn't mean I don't know business. And it takes two to tango, if you will. And if Stamkos wanted to stay here, he would be here. And obviously the Lightning didn't want him here. So, some of you guys really got to grow up. You really do. Sorry. Sorry, I'm not I'm not at my sales job. I'm not going to sit here and placate to you. I'm not going to sit here and kiss your ass. How about that? I'm tired of hearing about the whining. I get it. He was here for 16 years. I get it. You think that you're owed something when you're not owed it. Hold the phone lines. I'm going to get out to Leo in a moment. But you have to understand also that sports is about business also. He got $8 million. He's not walking away empty-handed. Is it a shame, Mike, that he's not going to be with the Tampa Bay Lightning? Of course it is. But you're such a hockey guy here. Tell me something, big shot. He was a minus 21. He had 40 goals, but he was a minus 21. Obviously, they think as an organization that they've gotten better. I would say have faith. Have faith in JBB because he's only won 2 Stanley Cups. I mean, but no. Just one move there. Let's just throw it all out. All right. There you go. So I'm going to go out to Leo Haggerty. Here we go. Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions and Amped Up Sports, Mr. Leo Haggerty. Welcome to the evolution of sports talk television. I got to read this comment. Let's see here. I'm Canadian. I know hockey, and I bury you in hockey knowledge, bro. And yet you have a show here on Monday and Wednesday nights that you're doing because you would bury me in hockey knowledge. Let's not start with this. Let's not pat ourselves on the back so much here and try to pick a fight with somebody on a Wednesday night that's really not in the mood for you, okay? Gotcha. All right, Leo, your thoughts here on the Steven Stamkos situation. You know, there's a part of me that's sad that he's gone, and then there's a part of me that says, you know what? If Stamkos wanted to be here, and our own J.P. Peterson broke it today on the J.P. Peterson show, a friend that was on here on Monday night who does his own show on Monday and Fridays from 10 a.m. to noon, that he would have taken $4 million. But my thing is that I think the Lightning wanted to move on from him, and Steven Stamkos got paid very handsomely from the Nashville Predators. Your thoughts? Welcome to the evolution.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I'm going to segue into this, Peter, by my conversation when I had a one-on-one with Rich McKay.
Okay.
And the last question I asked him, I said, Rich, there's going to come a point where you're going to have to say goodbye to Lynch, Brooks, and Sapp. Whether they retire or whether you're going to have to move on from them because they become too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, I really don't want to be here when that happens. And he wasn't. And the fact that Stamkos was here 16 years, that's extraordinary. Look at what's going on in professional sports. Nobody's there. Tom Brady came to Tampa Bay, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just don't see this happening because of the salary cap. And again, the toughest thing to sell to a wife when you get home, well, we can stay here for $4 million or we can go to Nashville for $8 million. Well, guess what? I can tell you how that is going to play out. It's just the way of the world with this. It's the way of free agency. And celebrate the 16 years you had with the guy.
Right.
And just, give him a pat on the back, say Godspeed, and you got to move on. Because get ready, Lightning fans. This is going to happen with Vasilevsky. It's going to happen with Kucherov. It may happen with Victor Hedman. And I think what the Lightning decided was, do we keep Stamkos or keep Hedman? And again, if they weren't so weak on the blue line, it may have been a different scenario. But you got to move on. It's just the way of the world.
It is the way of the world, and I think they value Hedman, and I think you bring up an astute point here with their defense and their blue line lacking last year, and they feel like Hedman is still playing at a prime position. I'm not saying Stamkos isn't. Tell you what, let's go out to the phone lines here. Welcome to the evolution. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on with yours truly, along with the great legend, Mr. Leo Haggerty.
Hey, you got Frankie here, Colin. I want to weigh in on this Tampa Bay Lightning.
Okay, please go ahead. How do you feel about this? Because I know you watch hockey. I know you're a Tampa Bay sports
I'm
fan.
new into hockey. I'm really new into hockey. And look, I can understand that this, Stamkos, he's kind of a staple, and you're used to him wearing a Lightning's jersey.
Yeah,
I get it.
right.
And he's probably your favorite player. But guess what? Everybody switches. It's a business. Wayne Gretzky left. Did you see people crying?
No.
Guess what?
Well,
my favorite player
listen,
just left Tampa Bay.
You did see
and
people
I'm not crying. It's a business.
You did see people crying. They were upset about that, but with looking at it, he won the Stanley Cups with Edmonton, but did he win anything with LA? I mean, it was an unbelievable trade. So people were upset about it. I get that. I get the people being upset about it, but also you have to look at it from this guy right here, which, Mike, I respect your opinion. You know hockey, but can you really realistically say this Lightning team isn't better off? I mean, that's the question tonight for Lightning fans. If we want to talk about it, do you think JBB has made this team better? Frankie?
From what I can say, it looks like they're improving over the last 3-4 years that I've been watching hockey.
Right.
I can say, I could. My problem, I can't keep up with all the players. I keep up with the blue chip guys.
Okay. Well, let me go out to somebody who is keeping up with it. Let me go out to Leo here really quick, Frankie. Leo, do you think JBB has improved this franchise the last week and a half?
No, but let me qualify that. He didn't hurt it either. I think they right now are still on an even keel, but moving forward. And again, the hard thing with the Lightning is the plus minus right now, especially for the forwards, because a lot of the goals were caused because of their lack of blue line people. So yeah, the plus minus, it means a little bit, but when you look at what the Lightning have, they still have the goalie. They still have the defenseman. They still have Kucherov. Yeah. It was getting to a point where Stamkos just and somebody was going to overbid for him. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, you got to give Nashville credit. Look what they did. They brought in Stamkos and Marchand. Yeah. Two former Lightning players. They have improved exponentially from that point. I don't think the Lightning took a step backward. It's a step forward, but I think it's a baby step. But that's still good.
Yeah. Well, I think they got younger. I think that's what they're looking at, and they were willing to pay the free agent there from Pittsburgh and Carolina. You paid him. You were able to get rid of Sergachev there and that salary. He was a turnover machine. So you replenished it. You got younger. We'll see what happens at this point. But, at the end of the day, I get the emotion. I understand it. But you talk about plus and minus. Let's face it, Stamkos, when it came to 5-on-5, was not very good. And that's what they want to improve on. It's not just the power play. It's not just the shot. It's not just the leadership. I know it plays a factor, but also 5-on-5. And even though...
You know what, though, Peter? Yeah. You got to understand, when you shake that tree in hockey, you don't find a lot of 40-goal scorers fall out. No. So you're going to have to deal with deficiencies on the other end if you want to get that 40-goal score. And again, if Stamkos would have had a year of, let's say, 15 to 20 goals,
sure,
then it's an easy fix. He's still finding a way to put the biscuit in the basket. And that's the bottom line.
Leo, if you don't mind me asking you a question.
Sure, go for it.
You're like the hockey genius was what it sounded like him. Buddy.
He is. He covers the hockey.
I'm just getting into hockey, and to be honest, I'm getting really excited about it, watching my team that I grew up kind of watching a little bit. And, watching my team, now I'm a Dallas Stars fan. They looked extremely gassed in the Stanley Cup Finals. And just from a guy that's been watching just over the past few years, I gotta say that would be from, in my own personal opinion, they went up against some pretty brutal teams to get to the finals, with having to go up against Colorado and Vegas. Now, what would you say would be a good way to answer that? And is my analysis correct?
Oh, I'll tell you what, I think you're pretty close to being spot on. And let's go back to COVID. And that's what caused all this. You have a season that was elongated, and then it was shrunk the off season. Think about this. The Lightning played, I think it was 60 more games than anybody else during that COVID Stanley Cup in the year after. And I asked John Cooper, I said, Coach, are you guys just mentally and physically tired from all the hockey? And the answer would have been yes. He said, well, when you retire, you can rest. And that's basically telling you just got to work through it, because guess what? We got 2 Stanley Cups to show for it. Yes. Dallas, and you got to understand about the Western Conference. It's all about big on big. They play a much more physical brand of hockey.
What I'm looking at now, they're like really, really fast.
Well, they're
big and fast. It more so than the Eastern Conference is a little faster, but they're smaller. You don't find these big 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" guys coming at you with speed.
And you also got Jake Gensel here, who was the top winger, top player in free agency, and people go, well, you paid him $9 million. Well, that's what you have to do sometimes in free agency, and they feel like he's definitely going to add to that first line there with, of course, Braden Point and Nikita Kucherov, which is interesting in itself. All right, Frankie, thanks a lot for the call. Definitely use that second one. Anything else here on the sports web?
Not much. Just got to say, man, thank you for a little bit of insight. I'm always trying to pick up more hockey knowledge, because my hockey knowledge is very, very sparse, and I don't have many hockey friends. I have more wrestling friends and football friends than hockey friends. So
I got you, buddy. I got you. Well, we got you on here. We're definitely talking Tampa Bay Lightning. We're definitely talking Tampa Bay Bucs, and of course, Tampa Bay Rays. So we'll try to get you as much information as possible, my friend. All right.
Yeah. Speaking of Tampa Bay Rays.
Yes.
I missed you guys a couple of weeks, and what's up with me? Hey, at least you guys can beat my guys. I want to say that.
Well, here's what's going on with the Rays. They won 4 straight series. They're 1 game over 500. Right now they're losing 2-1, but it's a close game, so we'll see what happens. And they got.
But you can beat the Cubs. Way to go!
Well, the Cubs stink right now. Frankie, thanks a lot,
dude. We're like selling our team again, man.
I know. It's a full sales job there in Chicago. Yep. All right, Frankie. Appreciate the call as always. On the phone line, 727-255-0391. 727-255-0391. Let's go back out to these comments. I read that one. It's business in America. It is. Mike says they had money for Hedman. Once again, he's going to be most likely the new captain, and they had more value for him. Why do you, again, with the blue line, what else? What's the other reason you think that JBB and the Lightning organization re-signed a Hedman over a Steven Stamkos?
Well, I think that's the only reason, Peter. If they'd have had a better idea of their blue line, they may have gone in a different direction. But again, I'm still old school in any sport. Offense sells tickets, defense wins championships. And same thing in hockey. You got to be strong up the middle. You've got to have the goalie. You've got to have the 2 guys in front of them. They got to be strong. And right now, that was the weakness for the Lightning. Whether you want to admit it or not, that was just the way it is.
Good stuff, Leo. So let's go back here to the 2-shot. Want to read the rest of these comments. Ben from Las Vegas says, I feel for the Lightning fans who hated seeing Stamkos go. I'm a Vegas Golden Knights fan who just saw Jonathan Marchessault leave. It's disappointing, but it's a business at the end of the day. Both Stamkos and Marchessault took better deals. Ironically, they're both with Nashville now. Exactly. Nashville's trying to go for it. They're going to overpay a little bit. And I don't know how that contract is going to look in a couple years. I love Steven Stamkos. He'll always be the captain of the Tampa Bay Lightning. This is what I said on Monday night. But I just kind of wonder, when going back to those comments from JBB saying, in so many words, this contract would hinder our opportunity to be a championship team. That to me is eye-opening. That to me is, where you raise your eyebrows on those comments from JBB. Wayne Gretzky was sold, jackass. It goes down as a trade. He was sold. It's still a trade. Okay, so, and you can call me names if you want to, but it was a trade, and you just admitted it was a trade on the thing.
It was a trade for money, not a trade for player.
Right. It was still a trade. Zach says, Leo, we have Braden Point, who scored 46 goals. There's another guy that can score goals. Stammer got most of his goals on the power play. Zach Mitchell, thank you very much. Mike, Braden Point will be like Stamkos in a few years. He will want money, and they will trade him or just cut him loose. And see, that whole mentality, and, I get it. Again, there's fans out there. There's fans of hockey. I heard this all week long. The sky is falling, this and that. I think every situation is different. If you want to sign Braden Point, they will sign Braden Point. Go ahead and respond to that comment from Mike there.
Well, you know what, Peter? Let's get to the gist of the problem. Stamkos is 34. Braden Point is not. You've got to deal with your younger players. And let's be realistic here. Braden Point scored 46 goals, yes. How many of those came from 86? I would venture to say at least half of them.
Yes.
So the first person you want to keep on this hockey team is Kucherov. He's the straw that stirs the drink. Because think about this. He had 100 assists from right wing. He could only pass one way.
Sure.
Wasn't like a center who could go right or left. He had to go left, and everybody in the world knew about it and still couldn't stop it.
Correct.
And you still had people that could put it in the net. Again, they're going to have to find a triumvirate of people, because I don't think you're going to see a 40-goal scorer. But if you can get three guys that can make up for that 40 goals, say they get 10, 15 more goals than they normally would get.
Yeah.
Now you've covered your nut. But the bottom line is it's a business. You got to move on from it. The fact that he remained here for 16 years is pretty much lucky and pretty much creative contracting by the player and the organization.
Yeah, good stuff there from Leo Haggerty, the legend himself, from Amped Up Sports. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. Let's continue to read some of these comments here. I would say the Florida Panthers have that Western Conference style, which helped them win their Stanley Cup this past season.
Oh, God, no. Don't even think about that. They are not the size of those guys in the West, believe me.
Well, they definitely beat the Lightning in the first round. And I think that's what JBB was looking at also, to retool this lineup and this roster, because the Lightning 2 years in a row now have been eliminated in the first round. So you've got to change some things up. Zach says, Bolts are younger and faster. Cam Atkinson is older, but he's an exception. He's still fast. He has to be considering his size. What did you think of that signing? Because that was kind of a sneaky one. A little bit up there, but only $950,000 could put the biscuit in the basket, if you will. What did you think of that signing?
Again, Peter, when they let 91 go, all of a sudden you're looking, okay, I got a lot of money I can play with here. I had to trade Sergachev. I got a lot more money. Let's see how many different pieces we can bring in for that amount of money. Right. And again, it's kind of crazy to think, well, you got a guy for less than $1 million. Well, that's like walking around money. That's chump change. The fact that it's become that is just an anomaly in sports. Right. But, Peter, again, I think it's baby steps, but they're moving forward in the right direction. One thing you got to give the Lightning credit for, if you look around the league, go this year, The Florida Panthers, one of the former Lightning players, Jonathan Hiberda, played a vital part. Let's go last year. The Golden Knights, Marchessault, played a pivotal part. They know how to draft. They know how to get the right people at the right time.
Sure.
So, yeah, I don't begrudge Stamkos getting the money. Mm-hmm. And I don't begrudge the Lightning for thinking, well, you know, it's time we need to move on. And again, they made him an offer. It wasn't like they said, okay, we want you to go, but we just can't pay you. And really, go back to the LeCavier when they gave him that 10-year deal. They had to trade him.
Sure.
They literally hamstrung the organization. I thought you'd like that part.
I like that. That's good.
But by that long-term contract. So yeah, it's a business, and you got to have the right people at the right place at the right time to make it work.
And I know you got to get out of here in a little bit. We were expecting Ozzie. We got no Ozzie. We got no Harry. We got no friggin' Ray here tonight. So
Peter, I'll hang on for another 10 minutes. I just sent Ozzie a text. I said, are you coming on? I don't know where he is.
Yeah, well, sometimes that happens. That's what we do here. Sergachev is gone. He's a fantastic talent. Money, but also Sergachev, not only with the injury last year, but also with the turnover problem. And I get it. He's 26 years old. He's definitely been a big part of that, but he was also a big problem last year. They just wanted to move on from that. Raina says, happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to you. I didn't call you a jackass. It was meant the phone guy on the phone. I appreciate you, Mikey. I know you're passionate. That's why I love you on this show. 30 goal scorers, Hagel, Gunzel, Kucherov, Point. Just have to keep the puck out of the net. Mike says, if I call in, it'll be the longest call in show's history. That's okay, Mikey. We got you here. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Atkinson is washed up. He's done 75 games, 13 goals, 15 assists, I think that is, for Americans on the stream, and a glorious minus 22. But what's the difference? $950,000 compared to what you're going to pay Stamkos, who, by the way, is also a minus 21, but Stamkos had 40 goals. Who knows? Atkinson can maybe take off with this team. We've seen it before. Maybe we'll see it again. I think some guys need to step up. I'll take it away from, my guy, JP Peterson. He said it best. Nick Paul needs to score more with that big time contract that he has. All right, let's move on.
You know what, Peter, real quick before we move on.
Yes.
It's not a matter they need to step up. They need to stay healthy. That's the thing. And again, I'm going to go back to COVID. I think that 3 years where everything was so compressed that they didn't have recovery time. Now they do. And again, remember, you got to play 82 just to get to the playoffs. And again, it's the hardest trophy to win.
Yeah.
Because you got to win 16 games. And that's a lot.
Hockey slang, apples is short for assist. That's why I love you here, man, because I'm learning things that I didn't know about hockey. So you definitely do know your hockey here, and I get you're emotional. And that's okay, Lightning fans or hockey fans in general. If you want to talk about Steven Stamkos leaving, if you want to talk about if the Lightning are a better team without him, has JBB done a good job? Do you want JBB fired? I know there's Lightning fans out there saying that. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391 on with the legend here, Mr. Leo Haggerty of Amped Up Sports, Night Sports Productions. Let's move on. Let's talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Graham Barton and Todd Bowles said he's getting prepared by enduring a heavy load at the center position and getting what head coach Todd Bowles calls a good baptism. This in care of Jen Elaine of ESPN. This will be a good baptism for him as far as getting ready for the season. I think he's learned a lot. I think he's eager to get in the pads and really show what he can do physically. He's a smart guy. Also, of course, he's taking over for Hansey at this point, Robert Hansey. So getting a good baptism. I'm excited about watching this kid work. I know he played tackle. Now he's having that transition over. Is it going to be a smooth transition? Are there going to be some rough spots for this rookie? Or do you expect him to come in right away and anchor that line like the Bucs expect him to do right away?
Won't be a smooth transition, Peter. It never is for a rookie lineman.
Yeah.
Again, remember, the hardest position to coach is offensive line because you
Right.
got to have 5 working as one. And look at what happened last year and the year before with all the movement that's happening on that offensive line. You had Wirfs go from one side to the other. Everybody said, well, it's a tackle. No, it's a totally different position.
Sure.
You got your different hand in the dirt. And I always said, if you look at the offensive line, if there's new people in there, it's going to take you 2 games for every new person. So you know what? It's probably going to take the offensive line at least 4 games to get where they want to go. Because it all depends what you're going to do with Hansey. I think you want to keep him as the backup because he can back up all 5 positions.
Right.
That frees you up for another player come game day. And Peter, let me get on my soapbox because the NFL better start expanding the roster if you're playing 17 games. They got to go from 53 to 60 for game day.
I think they're going to 18 games. I think they're going they're going to definitely extend that out. They're going to eliminate preseason and you're going to extend, the Super Bowl out to what is it? President's Day, where it's so
where they want it is, Peter, because that's sweeps month. They've always wanted it the middle of February.
Leo, it's so perfect. And I talked about this a couple months ago during the draft. If you extend that Super Bowl to President's Day, first and foremost, you don't have to go back to work the next day feeling bad because you get off that Monday. So you have that whole weekend to contemplate not only if your team's in it, they lost, but also the fact of, wow, football season is over with. So you have a couple days there to, kind of recoup. And then there's a lot of partiers out there, if you will. And speaking of somebody who I think likes to party just a little bit, because I've hung out with them before, Ozzie, the sports junkie, has joined us. Let's see if we can get him on here as we're live producing. Let's see if he's ready to go. Ozzie, what's going on, buddy? Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. You're on with the legend here, Mr. What were you calling him? Nostradamus?
Uncle Leo.
Yes.
Leostradamus.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Can you hear me good?
I can hear you just fine, my friend.
Welcome to the evolution of man. I just saw the 3 apes beating each other up with a stick out in there where they're playing the ba, ba, ba. What's going on, guys?
Well, Ozzie, I'm glad you got that rodent running fast enough to get your
I got my pet here.
Email up.
My raven here. His name's Russell. Russell Crowe.
Yes.
I gotta feed him though. Come on the show, Pete.
Ozzie, real quick, I want to get your thoughts on this.
What's
because
Stroh's
you
beer?
always
I'm
said
a great
to me,
fan of Stroh's. Big sponsor. Go ahead, Pete. Go ahead.
You always said to me the easiest thing to bet was women's basketball. With Caitlin Clark coming into the league, has that changed?
I don't know. I mean, she came in with all kinds of hype, but now she's just getting hacked down. I haven't really followed her of late. Is she putting up big numbers? I mean, I got a kick out of the fact that Joe Biden, one of his pressing issues was a couple months ago that women aren't making $70 million. Well, that's because there's 70 people in the stands, Joe. I mean, it's getting there. It's getting there, but let's
to
be
that
honest.
Point, Ozzie, here's the point of that. You're exactly right. And you have a league that could, and we're talking women's basketball here on the Sports Web. You got to love that, right? We're so
Beaver ball.
Right. Well,
and there's a guy. I hate to interrupt you, Pete, and I hate to interrupt you.
Yeah.
But there was a story of a guy in Vegas, and this gets a little. What have you realized? This gets a little off color. This guy had all the menstrual cycles of all the players in the league, and he bet on which team was going through their menstrual cycles, and the guy cleaned up. I mean, he won a fortune. It's so stupid, but it's true, and it's so offensive, but it's true. It just goes to show you. Where there's a will, there's a way. And since we last talked, oh my God, it's a different world. You can bet on your phone. You can bet at the Hard Rock in Tampa. You can bet on Korean baseball. You can bet on Japanese snooker. I love how you can bet on these dart games, and they have to have visual proof because they would be fixed if you didn't have proof that the games were being. If you're betting on snooker in some pub in Worcestershire, get into a 12-step program because you got problems, man. You got big enough problems. You're better off betting on preseason football, which isn't that far off, guys.
Well, it's not that far off. I believe we got 66 days until the start. I'm counting it down because it was 69 days on Monday, so 68. So no, 67 days. So 67 days until football season starts.
Yeah, that was tough math, Peter. Good job.
There you go. Exactly. That's why I didn't pass college math there. That's why I'm a sports talk show host. But going back to Caitlin Clark, here's a league that could embrace her, even though she's made the All-Star game. It seems like everybody's against her, and everything she touches at this point does draw an audience. And if they embrace her in that league, then I think they can make some money. If not, if they continue to do what they're doing, then they're definitely not going to make any money. With that being said, we've been talking about money all night long, and Steven Stamkos being with the Tampa Bay Lightning for 16 years. Ozzie, what were your thoughts, and how surprised were you that Stamkos moved on to Smashville with the Nashville Predators?
I wasn't that shocked. I mean, if there's more movement in any sport, it's the NHL.
Yeah.
You're going to see probably Cooper. Let's just hope Cooper doesn't go the way of Tortorella, or as I like to call him, Mike Keenan 5.0. He's basically systematically working his way through the league, and where every team, he comes in like a ball of fire. He leaves in the middle of the night because everybody from the team, the owner, the press hates him. He's just an insufferable guy like Mike Keenan was. Keenan won the Cup in Chicago, and he worked his way through every team in the league, and Tortorella's doing the same thing. I'd hate to see that to Cooper because he's such a great guy. And, I mean, we talked about it. I remember talking about it a couple of years ago when the Lightning won the second Cup. There's no question he's the greatest coach in Tampa Bay history. I mean, hands down.
No
hands
question.
down. I'd hate to see him leave, but there's more movement in hockey, fellas, than any sport, period.
Yeah, there is, and that's why you have to watch it. You've been watching some of these moves by the Tampa Bay Lightning. Do you think
the Lightning fell flat on their face the last two playoffs, Pete?
Yes.
They fell flat on their face, and you're not going to do it 3 times in a row. I really questioned, and I was wrong, and I love Stamkos. He's the greatest Bolt ever, and he hoisted. Was he on the first Cup? Was he on that roster?
Not on the.
No, he wasn't there yet.
2 Cups,
He was in the. I remember that goofball owner we had. Now he wasn't. It was C. Stamkos. There was a big video. C. Stamkos, and the guy lived up to it. He was a little China dolly for me. Remember the year he broke his leg? He was out for this, always extended periods of time. But he came back. He won 2 Cups, and he was just nails.
It's amazing.
But
he's amazing. He has one of the most amazing moments in Tampa Bay history was scoring in Game 3, really recharged, and didn't play any more in that. So
plus minus, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
It's time for fresh blood. If they got some fresh blood, you got to keep Hedman for now. But as Leo pointed out, he'll go. Vasilevsky's lost a few rubles off his vodka bottle, and they probably got somebody in the wings to replace him. Hockey's a game. Even Gordie Howe left the Red Wings, fellas. Bobby Hull went to the Jets. Gretzky falling all over the ice in a St. Louis Blues jersey. It happens.
Well, yeah, Gretzky with the Rangers there for a little bit. Again, guys just move on, and that's the business of it, and it's a shame, and that's why I was telling Bucs fans about Mike Evans re-signing and, of course, getting the band back together this year with bringing back Baker Mayfield, Antoine Winfield Jr. Ozzie, I know you're a major Bucs fan as you got your guitar, and what are you playing for me? What are you playing?
Oh, I was playing with myself on a Friday night.
Ozzie, what do you think about this?
You put that right on the team.
Oh, man. Ozzie, what do you think about this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team and their success last year? Because they were kind of left for dead by the national media. National media pundits saying 4 to 6 wins. They win the NFC South again. Baker Mayfield had over 30 touchdowns, including the postseason. And they're only a couple plays away there from being in the NFC Championship game. What did you think about last year, and how excited are you coming into 2024?
I was thrilled. Not when they went 6-7. I thought Dave Canales really made a bad move. I hope he's renting and not buying, because if he makes year 2 in Carolina, he's 2 years away from being basically an intern. He was an assistant quarterbacks coach. Right. He's biting off way more than he can chew. And excuse me if I'm wrong, fellas, that Bucs offense didn't look too hot the first 6 weeks of the season when they lost 6-7. So
Correct.
he did turn it around. And I'll tell you, we can go on without Dave Canales, because if I was him, save your money. Save your money, Dave, because might go back to being an assistant. Good luck in Carolina.
No.
You got a mess there, and we're going to beat the living tar out of you twice a year for the next, if you make it through 2 seasons. That's his problem. But I love the offensive coordinator. It's Baker's team. They brought his offensive coordinator in. I went almost Leo Stradamus the year before when we went out to L.A. and Baker Mayfield came off the street and threw 3 touchdowns. I said to my buddy and cohort Gopher Greg, I go, this guy would look good in a Bucs uniform. Lo and behold, he did. And I'll tell you what, my only argument and my only hope, and I remember talking about this with Leo and yourself, was when Brady comes, and he was the greatest thing we have ever seen. And it was an era we'll never, ever see again.
Right.
But we can get another title, guys. And he left us in good shape. And when everybody and their brother was saying, Bowles has got to go, the whole system's got to be torn down, get rid of Baker, get rid of everybody. And then all of a sudden we're the New York Jets. They held tight. Boy, Todd Bowles showed me a lot of backbone, fellas. He didn't let that team slide. He didn't let them slack. And they came alive the second half. I think Todd Bowles learned a lot about himself because he's never had a coaching job like he did last year. I was floored by him. And he may be stoic on the sidelines, but you see him in the post game. He's not afraid to rip it up a little bit. And it's Baker's team. It's Baker's team. The guy's got moxie. I mean, it's been a long time, if we've seen a quarterback with the balls of a guy like Baker Mayfield. He's getting it done, and he's got a lot of targets around him. They got another running back to help out with White back there.
Yeah.
I mean, they added that moose on the offensive line. Instead of breaking it down and starting over like we've done a million times before, how about doing what we did? Add some pieces, fill some gaps, and in an NFC South. And I don't know am I missing something? Did the Vikings win the last 3 Super Bowls? What is Kirk Cousins going to do to the Atlanta Falcons that's going to trump and just come and blow the doors off when the Bucs are a 6-win team? I don't buy that. They're going to be a better team. Cousins was good in Minnesota, but he didn't get him to the promised land. And Baker got us a drive away from an NFC title game when we were 6-7 on the downside. So I'm looking for a big season, and I could care less what the pundits say.
Yes, you're absolutely right about that. Leo, you're on. Ozzie, the sports junkie. Let's go out to the phone lines here so we take phone calls from our webheads. One of my favorite webheads, Mr. Curtis. Welcome to the evolution of sports talk television. What's on your mind tonight? By the way, happy 4th.
Yeah, happy 4th. Whatever. Who cares?
Well,
anyway.
Wow, what an anti-American. Get out of here, you communist. This isn't Russia. God, you want to go back to the red coats?
No. Okay, here's my thing.
Yes.
No. Here's my thing. You know I love you, Peter. You know, whatever.
Yes,
I usually super hype about 4th of July. I mean, me and my kids are going to go bananas tomorrow with some fireworks. We're going to probably go eat shit. Whatever. Anyway, you know what? The 4th of July, okay, there's nothing but baseball on, okay?
Okay.
Some baseball is okay. You know, for me, baseball is not really super interesting until after the All-Star game.
Right.
I mean, I don't care about Aaron Judge and his 25 home runs or whatever. Who cares?
By the way, Shohei Ohtani is out of the home run derby contest, and whoever's carrying that, I think it's Fox.
Russell Crowe wants to host a show with this guy.
Well, there you go. Russell Crowe wants to host it. It'll probably be more interesting than maybe that home run derby, especially without Ohtani.
You know what the most disappointing thing about the 4th of July is tomorrow?
What's that? It's not the eating.
Joey Chestnut is not in the hot dog eating contest.
Thank you very much. I mean, how that is a travesty. That is a
travesty.
Epic.
Why is it?
That
Joey Chestnut positive for nitrates or something? I mean, he probably got restricted some kind of gastrointestinal disease. I mean, there's no more disgusting than dipping that bun in greasy water and shoving those things. You know that product does not last with you for more than about 2 minutes after that game. There's no way.
When I heard Joy was not in the hot dog eating contest, I literally shed a tear. Okay, I was like, "This is BS." My 4th of July is ruined.
Yours is ruined now because you can't watch Chestnut in his hot dog eating contest. what do you had? Like 70 hot dogs last year? Guys.
148.
Could you imagine? Think about this.
Yes.
Could you imagine? I couldn't imagine eating a pack of hot dogs.
No.
I mean, possibly
the most hot
without
dogs
the
I ever ate was 8, and I'm afraid to admit that.
What the?
And here's the thing. I feel like I could eat 8 without the bun, including the bun. I'd probably give you 4.
Well, you got to.
The bun is what slows you down.
That's what it is. You got to dip it in the water. That's why. Leo, really quick, how many hot dogs do you think you could eat?
1.
Come on.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right, Leo.
Leo's more of a broccoli guy. I'll never forget the time.
I'm going to qualify. Let me qualify that. Before the cancer surgery, I could probably do 10.
Okay.
But not now.
Okay.
Not now. And again, I would cheat. I would put 2 dogs on 1 bun.
Wow. Well,
I would double dip.
And you're from
hey guys, I gotta get
Wisconsin
off.
a lot too. So that's
hey, don't be a stranger, brother. Let's get you on Wednesday nights.
I'm gonna be on.
Leo.
I got my new setup here, and Russell Crowe is keeping me company. Today, this call brought to you by Stroh's Beer. Somewhere they still sell it.
All right, Leo. Appreciate the time, legend. Happy 4th, my friend. There you go. We'll get out to we got Ozzie now. We're coming to the true stop there. Curtis, how many hot dogs could you eat?
Honestly, it depends on if I partake in a little 420.
Okay.
But
well, listen now. We know. No, don't be bashful, because Curtis, we know most of the time you call this show, you're 420.
Partaking.
Yes, you're partaking a lot.
Dude. Oh man, I smoke like a broke stove. Okay, for real. For real, dude. I'll be.
That's freaking
dude,
great. That's freaking great.
Literally, I'll be high as a giraffe's ass half of the time. So
Well, then I can't believe you don't find baseball interesting when you're that stoned. It should be fascinating, dude.
I mean, think about this. If you're that stoned and you go 6 innings, no hits, no scores,
you're watching Rays games. That's the problem.
You're like, hey man, is Johnny Bravo on TV or something? Jeez, what am I watching? What am I watching?
I've always had a theory, man.
You got Beavis and Butthead on TV.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah,
there
that's the go-to for every podcast.
I always had a theory. And people in Florida, they had no team except for the Cubs and the Braves on TV. That's why many of your Floridians, they don't get baseball. They'll get the Rays now. But if you don't have a team, baseball is pretty boring. If you don't have a dog in the race, I'm not going to watch Houston and Seattle like a river rat's ass unless I got money on it. I'll watch my Rays. And to be honest, my Cubs can go straight to hell too.
Well, there you go. And,
listen, I gotta watch how stoned I get tomorrow. Actually, that's why I'm glad my kids are older now.
Okay,
they can do the fireworks themselves because I don't want to be walking around like JPP.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Let them blow their fingers off.
All right, Curtis. So what are we this is the question for the night also for people out there. We started this today on the JP Peterson show. What are you eating for July 4th besides hot dogs? Is it hamburgers? Okay. Is it ribs? What's the spread like, my friend?
All right. So my brother called me.
Okay.
He's got 20 pounds of beef ribs.
Okay.
Jesus.
So he's cooking beef ribs. I'm probably going to do some Walmart. Walmart has baby backs on sale for $10 a slab.
Wow. Baby back ribs. How much is it now at Walmart?
$10 a slab.
$10 a slab.
Are they pre-cooked?
Yeah.
Are they pre-cooked?
No, you have to cook them yourself.
Okay. Well, then
I mean, it's fairly simple. I mean, people overthink it. Here's the thing. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to cook on the grill. Put them in the damn oven. Stop being lazy. I mean, you put them in the oven, they cook for 2 hours.
Bro,
you could find a lot of things.
I could burn a grilled cheese. I always say this. I'm going to get a shirt that says "Air Fryer Save Lives" because I could burn a grilled cheese and burn down my kitchen with my cooking skills, which are absolutely abominable.
So we're definitely thinking some baked beans, some potato salad, maybe some baked mac and cheese.
Okay, all right.
I mean,
whatever's left, blow it up.
Including the bathroom once you get
stuck. Hey, well, how about I'm glad
I heard about the bomb threat, didn't you? The bomb threat.
I'm glad I don't have to
thrown off the airplane. He said, "I'm going to blow that bathroom up." They'd stop the whole flight.
Okay, now wait.
Yes.
Here's here's that bonus question to add to that question.
Yes.
When you buy sodas for 4th of July,
Yes.
do you buy name brand Pepsi or Coke, or do you buy Czech sodas?
It's always name brand, and depending on if you go to Winn-Dixie, you can get a deal. It could be Czechs. I mean, I've had Czechs before. I don't hate it. I used to work at Winn-Dixie.
Cherry limeade is a fine product by the Czechs, folks.
Oh my god,
It does, but it's also very acidic. And now I have heartburn problems. Yes, reflux.
You have
work through it, Blake. Work through it.
Yeah, work through it by waking up at 4:30 in the morning and nearly having a heart attack.
Welcome to my world. I live on Maalox, freaking Prilosec, and I'm knee deep in that freaking lawsuit.
Here's the other question.
Yes.
Here's the other question.
Yes, Curtis.
What kind of hot dogs do you buy?
Well, it's got to be Oscar Mayer, doesn't it? I think we lost Ozzie there, so he went to
No.
Oh, there we go. What do you Yes. Okay, there you go.
Some jerk off called me.
Yeah, is it?
No, I've been living on Prilosec for years and years. Here's the thing funny about Prilosec.
I gotta have a nation.
After 2 weeks, stop taking it. Well, what are you supposed to do after 2 weeks? Keep on suffering?
Right, exactly.
I gotta have. And I'll be first in line to sue their ass. Sorry to interrupt you, buddy.
That's all right.
Curtis,
you gotta have nation hot dogs, bro.
I love this guy. I love that. He's playing riffs here on the Sports Web. Yeah, I agree with you on that. All right, let me ask you, Curtis.
Are we getting some turnbuckle talk in tonight?
Of course we're getting turnbuckle talk. Hey, Ozzie, really quick. You like wrestling?
Yes, sir.
You like professional wrestling?
I hate it.
Oh my gosh.
I like Don.
Wait. Let me ask him this question.
Yes.
How old are you?
I just turned 55, I think, the other day. I do like.
Okay,
let me rephrase that.
Wait.
I'm an old school wrestling guy. I like Dusty Rhodes. I like the old Channel 44
so you're
wrestling.
going to tell me. I was going to say, so you're going to tell me you were never a Dusty Rhodes or Ric Flair or Macho Man?
Absolutely, I was.
Man?
I misspoke. I misspoke.
Okay, well, you got Cody Rhodes now. You got
Mean
Cody
Gene
Rhodes.
would come on my show every year, and we would tear up Main Street. Mean Gene was one of the nicest guys I've ever met. Ric Flair is a living legend. I mean, he's just unbelievable. Yeah, so I retract this statement. I was never big in the 80s when the Hulkamania thing and then the Undertaker and all that. I kind of, there was other things to do at that time. I was going through divorces and stuff. So I had my life was world wrestling.
Hey,
yes.
I'm going through one of those things you call a divorce now. And you know,
oh my God. No wonder you're blowing things up.
Hey, listen. No, the thing that keeps going through my head is I've been watching the Chappelle show, and it's like, is Wayne Brady going to have to choke a bitch?
Oh God, come on now, slow down.
No, I wouldn't never. But you know, listen, everybody has impure thoughts. Some people just don't say them out loud.
Exactly.
Well, you just did, man. You better run out of that house. Go into this Walgreens for a couple hours.
I said Wayne Brady, not Curtis.
All right, okay? Curtis. Now,
one of the funniest scenes ever, by the way.
Yes, absolutely, from the Chappelle Show, which is a classic still to this day. I think it would be
still
canceled.
Funny.
Yes,
it's still funny. It's
yes,
dude, you could go back and watch it to this day.
Yes,
and you would laugh your ass off.
I'm still laughing. I love it. I can't believe it hasn't been canceled yet. Thank God it has not been canceled. Thank God Dave Chappelle has not been canceled.
Thank God Dave Chappelle hasn't been canceled.
That's it. You got Russell Crowe there in the background there. Russell Crowe looks a little bit old at this point. Russell Crowe is kind of old already.
He's getting a little old. You know that those Die Hard or those 300 movies. Who was that?
I don't
know. That was who the hell was in
that was not him. No, that was another guy.
They're all pretty boys.
Okay, so since we're talking about it, you want to do Russell Crowe as the gladiator versus the guy that played Leonidas, head-to-head fight. Who's going to win?
I think A Beautiful Mind versus Leonidas.
you gotta take Russell Crowe there. Although that guy was pretty good in
Quote the Raven.
Quote the Raven.
Quote the Raven.
Yes. All right, so Curtis, what did you think of Steven Stamkos moving on? Were you surprised by that?
Oh man, you know what? My heart goes out to Stamkos. I love that guy. Thank you for his service in Tampa.
Yep.
I think I'm going to tell you what I think was really going to happen.
Okay.
He signed a 4-year deal with them. He's been in the league 16 years. I think his final year, I think Tampa's going to trade for him his final year.
Yeah, I think so
Yeah,
too. I think he'll eventually come back.
he's gonna retire as a Lightning.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that
Yeah.
too. All right,
Yeah.
Curtis, thanks a lot for the call. Use that second call because we'll have turnbuckle
Oh, man,
talk here. All right.
You know I'm coming back for Turnbuckle.
All right, got a lot of things to talk about
You know,
tonight, my friend.
Speaking of coming back, bring it back. Stamkos back and bringing everybody back. I don't know, Pete. I'm sure you got the same way because you're a hardcore Tampa Bay guy like I am.
Yep.
I'm just kind of getting greedy, man. I want more titles.
Well,
I want another Super Bowl. The next Super Bowl trophy, it will be the most important one of all. And the next cup will be the best one of all. And our Rays, let's face it, I don't think it's a Rays kind of year. I think they're about a 500 team, maybe a little bit better. But boy, once you get the taste for it, man, and 3 is a dynasty. We got a dynasty in hockey. 3 would put us, we're in rare air, really, with the 2 Super Bowl wins with our Buccaneers. We own the NFC South. We own the state of Florida. Speaking of Florida, how about the stinking Panthers? I was pulling for them like you wouldn't believe. 5 straight years, was it, for a Florida team in the finals, and the Panthers get it done? Maybe hockey hasn't panned out too well in Canada. They need to pull it out of Canada.
Well,
I
was actually rooting for Edmonton because the Panthers are a rival of the Tampa Bay Lightning. I can't believe I said that.
I mean, I hate them too.
I was happy. I was happy for Florida because everybody has said, "Well, Florida's a joke. They can't win. They're not going to be able to have a hockey team." And they had the Lightning and now the Panthers. They've had success here throughout the last 10 to 15 years. So it's a great story for Florida overall. With that being said,
they were coming on though. With the last couple of series that the Lightning had, you knew that the Panthers, they were coming on. I mean, they were getting better. And it's like the Lightning. You keep talking about the Stamkos move. I think it was time to make a move, man. I thought they had to make a move because they're stagnant, kind of like the Rays have been the last 2 seasons in that playoff. Right. Last year was a season unlike any other. It was one of those magical seasons where they were down 9-0, they'd win a big home run, a big catch, a big play. Every night there was their hero, and then flat as a pancake. It was just a thud. And I'm not saying major shakeups or anything, but I don't know. They made a trade today. Whether that was a buy or a sell, who knows? I think they need a veteran bat, maybe another arm or two. I was at the game the other day, Pete, and after I went and spent $48 on a Coke and half a bag of peanuts, they had a one hit. The guy pitching, whose name escapes me, Pioli, whatever his name is.
Yes, Pepio.
I can't tell my players on a scorecard. He had a one hit. He had a one hitter going through 5. He was facing the catcher. He struck out twice. They pulled him. They bring in that gas can who pours gas all over the mountain and starts flicking cigarette matches, and it's 3-1, ball game over. And I don't know what the move was. I never heard Cash's explanation. But that was a bizarre one too for a team having some trouble scoring runs there for a while. But like you said, they're playing some pretty good ball now.
Yeah, they're playing pretty good ball now, and I want to go out to some of these comments because Mike DeRoche is he is a hockey guy, that's for sure. Mike Keenan did not win a cup in Chicago. It was with the Rangers. That is correct.
Sorry, my bad. He
all
made
right.
his way through Chicago, though.
Yes, he did.
In Chicago. Red-assed his way out of town.
Yes, there are
Tortorella
top 10 Bucs quarterbacks according to Canadian Sports Channel. The Score: Steve DeBerg 9, Jeff Garcia 8, Sean King 7, Trent Dilfer 6, Josh Freeman 5, Vinny Testaverde 4, Doug Williams 3, Brad Johnson 1, Brad Johnson 2, Jameis Winston 1. Wait. Hold on.
What?
Okay.
Tom Brady 1.
I think it's DeBerg 10.
Winston 2.
Right. Winston 2 and Tom Brady 1. What are your thoughts? Where's Mayfield in that?
Where's Mayfield? He just came off maybe the 3rd greatest year in Bucs history.
Right.
I mean, come on. If you're going to do an updated, that bumps off Sean King got off the list.
Well, hold on. You've got Trent Dilfer over Sean King. Didn't Sean King lead the Bucs to the NFC Championship game there? Yeah,
he did. Kind of looked like a JV quarterback that forced into the senior team. But whatever works, right? I was a big fan for 2 years of Josh Freeman. I thought he had a cannon for an arm, but it just goes to show you there's a lot of strip clubs and drugs in Tampa, right outside the stadium. He came to town, Pete, the president of the Christian Athletes Association. He left hooked on every drug he could shove up his nose with 3 strippers pregnant. Bye-bye,
Yeah.
But I'm happy to report my nephew's in the Coast Guard. When the Super Bowl was in Miami, He says, look how I caught breaking into cars. He was kidding, of course. It was Josh Freeman. He looked to be in good shape. He said he was in fine shape, straightened his life out. That was a weird situation. Schiano comes in, pisses him off the get-go.
Yeah.
And remember, the year before he was 10 and they were 10-6. He threw 26 touchdowns with only 10 picks. I thought he was on the way to maybe to be the best quarterback ever in Bucs history.
26-5 or something like that.
Yeah, some ridiculous number.
Yeah.
And Schiano didn't do him any favors by calling him out the day one. And he's a weird dude to begin with. Did Schiano make it back to Rutgers?
Yes, he did. He's back to Rutgers, where it belongs.
You know why he went there? Because he sued the living shit out of Tennessee because they defamed his character, saying he had something to do with the Sandusky when he had nothing to do with that, and he had a signed deal. So he's not worrying about picking up any checks at all.
No, he's not. And I don't know about that list. We'll definitely have to dissect that. I think DeBerg could be higher. I think Garcia could definitely be higher on that list over a King and a Dilfer. Garcia had lots of success. Also, DeBerg had some success. Testaverde, why is he in the – I mean, he had 1 year. He had, 30 interceptions? 35? Oh, horrible.
Let's face it, Jameis, he put a lot of numbers up, but he put the most turnovers in football in 5 straight seasons. God bless him, though, man. He took the league minimum for 3 years to play for the Saints. And then on the last play of the last game, he's told, do not hand it off to that running back. Do not run the score up. And he does it. He was going to leave town anyways. But God bless him. He got $1 million or so from the Cleveland Browns. How ironic is it? We get their overall number one Heisman shining guy in Baker Mayfield, who I knew that was a dynamite pickup. I just had a feeling he had life in him. And that guy loves Tampa Bay. He loves his teammates. He loves to win. And he knows what it's like to be up here and lose it all and to get back up there. And you can tell he's really appreciating it. He's not going to let it go. I really think the Bucs they're on a winning course. And I was so disgusted last year when everybody had, get rid of Bowles. It's time to get rid of the quarterback, draft a new quarterback, get a new coach. And all of a sudden we're the Bears and we're the Falcons and we're the Carolina Panthers.
How many times, Ozzie, have we seen that? And I was getting on Finn and they were 4-7 and I was like, just relax. He's going to be able to right this ship. They have a big win in Green Bay. They have a big win in Atlanta, especially that Green Bay win where Baker was perfect. Just give it some time. They're like everybody's like, we need another quarterback. We need another coach. We want to reset.
There's no other quarterbacks. There's nobody in college. What are we going to draft another Winston and hope he's good? Get some no-name coach and hope he's good? Todd Bowles, he impressed me big time last season. He really did. The way he did not give up. And, I always defend the Glazers, and I still will to this day. You saw them, if you've seen the footage of the playoff win leading into the playoffs, the Glazer brothers are right there at the locker room.
Yep.
They don't need any money, Pete. They own Man U. They got more money than God. They are about winning games and respectability in the NFL meetings, and they're getting it. And they're big hitters now.
That's it.
They are big hitters, and they want to win trophies. And I'm going to throw this at you really quickly before my phone peters out here. No pun intended, peters out. Do you think Tampa Bay deserves another Super Bowl, Pete? Because we got screwed. Not a penny was made for Tampa Bay. We need another Super Bowl. We got screwed out of like $100 million.
Absolutely, they deserve it. I mean, the COVID Super Bowl was great when the Bucs won it, but can you imagine? And I go back to that year. Like, if you want to go back into a time machine, 2 events for me. The 99 NFC Championship game, what could have been if Bert Emanuel catches that ball, but if you have some type of offense, some type of quarterback at that point. And then also going back to the 2020 year where the excitement would have been just amazing. I mean, I don't think you could have found anywhere in this town to go. But, of course, you have a pandemic. You have crazy situation. You weren't able to really embrace Tom Brady. And the Super Bowl.
That parking lot would have been – there would have been 1 million people outside.
Easily.
And not to mention, a whole Stanley Cup playoff where there was no fans. And then they played Canada, not one person. And the Rays have a deep playoff into the World Series and not one game at the drop. We got screwed, blued, and tattooed. But if we're winning, I guess I'm not going to complain about it. It's just I feel bad for St. Pete and Tampa because they lost hundreds of millions of dollars.
All right, I got to ask you because this guy just asked it, and I've been throwing it out there. When do the Bucs put the GOAT in the Ring of Honor? I say this year. I'm predicting an Ozzie. I think it's Week 10 versus the San Francisco 49ers. It makes lots of sense. John Lynch comes to town. He'll be in-house. He'll be calling that game. The 49ers could have had him. He grew up as a 49er fan. He grew up as a Joe Montana fan. And he goes into the Bucs Ring of Honor. And you got fans out there, Ozzie, that will say, Tom Brady doesn't deserve it. He's not a Buck. He wasn't here long enough. You know, for me, the NFL should retire his number because he is the greatest of all time. Maybe. And then I would also say the Bucs should put him in the Ring of Honor and take advantage of it. Others would say,
no question.
Right.
No question. I mean, he came here at what, 44 years old?
Yes.
And
43.
He took us to the freaking Super Bowl and won it.
In
and
his
then we were
first
game
year
away from the Super Bowl the next year.
Yes.
I mean, the things he had his best year ever. His best 2 seasons ever statistically were in Tampa Bay.
Correct.
There's no argument at all. I'm all for retiring number 12. You see, the Patriots couldn't wait for the season to end to put him in their Hall of Fame to rub that Bucs stank off of him. But he's going to get a full coating of Buccaneer pewter and red, whatever you want to paint on him, because he's a Buccaneer. And I mean, it was a special time. It was a special time. And I'll tell you something, Pete. I was at the Carolina game that got him into the playoffs.
Right.
Late in that second season. And that place was electric that day. When I got the tickets, I thought it'd be a throwaway game, but it turned out to be a huge game that they had to win to get into the postseason. And I've never witnessed this in my life. We're sitting in the corner of the end zone, the little Junkie and I, my daughter. And the game's winding down. Brady threw 4 touchdowns. There's bullet, the 2 dimes in front of us to Mike Evans, beautiful. And I noticed there was the security was coming in, and they were like locking arms. I'm like, what the hell? Is there a fight going on or something?
Right.
Peter, 70,000 people were coming into that corner to watch this guy walk by.
Yeah.
It was almost like a biblical scene, man. And I mean that with all sincerity. People were standing on top of each other to see this person they called Tom Brady. And if I'm putting too much hyperbole on it, we watched him. The guy was a miracle worker.
Yes.
This last game against the Cowboys, hey, man, eventually everybody runs out of gas.
Sure.
But,
and I think there were distractions there with the divorce. I don't think the offense was that good. You had the human turnstile and Donovan.
They were like 5th string offensive linemen. They got their ass beat that night, but you can't be mad at Tom Brady for a second. He gave everything he had, and I was really hoping that the Glazers would have thrown him a chunk of the Buccaneers so he'd be in-house forever. But, hey, what did he buy, a piece of the Raiders?
Yeah, a piece of the Raiders there with Mark Davis looking like Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber there with this stupid haircut.
Speaking of the Raiders, I got one for you, and I'll leave you with this question because I got to go out and hit the town tonight. It's July 3rd. It was just my birthday the other night.
Well, happy birthday. And do me a favor.
Russell got me some seed. He got me some
love that. Can you play
a new Ravens hat?
Can you play like Voodoo Child, or can you play like in the NWO theme? Do you know the NWO theme or Voodoo Child? Yeah, I love it. Great.
See my new band. My new band's called Suicide Kings. We'll be playing out all over Sarasota and Tampa and hopefully up your way. I'm not done yet, man. They haven't thrown the dirt on me yet.
Well, nobody's going to throw the dirt on you. And listen,
deep psychological electrical shock therapy. I'm back.
You're always welcome here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television.
You're my hero, Pete. That day you were on the sidelines, and it was 140 in the shade, and I said, God, look at him. He's got to put that live feed together. Everything that can go. Just have the phone up tonight. I had a nervous freaking breakdown.
Yeah.
There's Pete, and he's patting his brow. JP Peterson, he's not a tech guy. But there's Pete, and within a minute or two, you got live callers on the sidelines. I'm like, look at this guy, man. I just stood up and started clapping. Soft golf clap.
Thank you, man.
Buddy Pete.
Thank you.
Blake, you're one of the hardest working guys I know, man. You just grind, and it just goes to show you, man. Hard work pays off. It does, man.
I appreciate
when you love it like you love it, and I
love this.
I never worked a day in my life in radio. Never.
Love it. I love it. I love
radio.
I love TV, but you know what? If they're not going to hire me, if they're going to say, listen, you don't have the experience, I'm going to make that experience. And this is going to be the Sports Web, the Evolution of Sports Talk Television.
It's a different world, man. There's nobody watches TV. Nobody listens to the radio.
Right. You're watching
a phone.
Right. Yes.
Exactly.
Right.
It's a different freaking world.
Yes, exactly. All right.
It's still great.
It is. Let's
Hey,
finish
man,
off.
we got to hook up for some games. Are you going to be live anywhere this year? I know you have that killer bar downtown Tampa.
I'm working on some of those things. I like to get back to Riveters. We'll see if we get to another bar, but I feel like I owe the Bucs fans out there. I could tell you this, during the regular season, when I'm credentialed with the JP Peterson show for those home games, we will be a part of that What the Buck tailgate. I want to get as many Bucs fans out there, a part of the evolution. I want to have a pregame show. I want to whoop it up. I want to talk with Bucs fans. I want to talk with all these guys really quick, and then we'll have, of course, the postgame show in the stadium when they allow us on the field there. With that being said, how many wins right now on July 3rd do you think the Bucs have in 2024, and why?
I'd say they get 10 wins, if not 11. I
Okay.
like their team this year, man. I like the offense. I like the additional running back. Chris Godwin's, he's in his last year probably. Evans is still in top shape. The tight ends came along big time last year. And with the new offensive coordinator, who's he's in league with
he's not going to
Baker
have
Mayfield.
to have that transition process like you talked about,
Right.
Dave Canale. And I met Dave. Dave's a good guy. I think he'll do his best there with Carolina if he gets the opportunity. He's a smart guy, but let's face it here, Ozzie. He had to transition.
He's getting a team full of stiffs, man. They're not a good team.
Yes, and he had to learn how to call plays. He'll be better for that, but that was the transition process, and that's why I think at times last year this offense struggled, but you saw the second half of the year once they got comfortable, and now that Cohen has been able to work with Baker Mayfield in LA and had success, and they have the same offense, just different
You see the
terminology.
confidence in him.
Yes.
It just builds and builds, and that guy's got balls of steel, man.
He does.
I've never
And
seen,
Jason
we've never
Light
had a
said-
quarterback like that.
Right. Jason Light said it best. He's 10 on a prick scale. Okay, that's Jason
He
Light.
is.
And Baker
Hey,
Mayfield said, thank you very much for that. Ozzie, the
You see
sports.
when he got clipped, going out of bounds in game one. He goes, "That's all you got? That's all you got?"
Yeah.
He's a little bastard, and that propels on other teammates, man.
Love
He's
it.
not Brady-like, but he's a leader in his own way. He's his own guy. He's a winner, man. We're gonna win with him.
Get your weight up, boy. That's what he said. Ozzie,
Get
the
your
sports
weight up.
junkie.
I'm gonna
Yes.
go get my weight up with some beer and chicken wings, buddy. Love you, Pete. And
Love you too,
anything I
brother.
can do, man, I'll become a regular, buddy.
It sounds
I'm back
good,
in the
man.
business.
We're definitely going to get you on Ozzie, the sports junkie on the
You're a
All
pretty
right, my
woman,
friend.
Pete.
All right, buddy. I'll see you around.
Love you,
all right?
buddy.
All right, love you too, bro. There you go, right there. Ozzie, the sports junkie. I mean, you gotta love that, right? You had the legend Leo Haggerty, and then you had him talking Bucs and talking Steven Stamkos and talking food. Like, nothing is out of the realm of possibility on this show. We can talk about it if you want to. Open phone lines. Please don't be crickets tonight. Don't do that. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The questions of the night. Have the Tampa Bay Lightning improved without Steven Stamkos, in your opinion? What do you think about Stamkos? What's your favorite memory? How about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Go out there. I was asking this question today. Should Gerald McCoy get in before Tom Brady? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. And what are you eating on July 4th? And I think, the premise is hot dogs and hamburgers, but our good buddy there, Mr. Curtis, said ribs. I'm doing baby back ribs. Let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you calling from? You're on the Evolution.
Peter, Jeremy, how you doing, my friend?
Buddy, you got to pump this up. Go ahead. What do we say here on the Sports Web? 3 things. Say them, man. Say it. You there, Jeremy? Hello, Jeremy.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. What do we say here on the show? Go ahead and pump it up for me. What do we say? 3 things.
Bring the passion, bring the excitement. Just don't bring no nonsense onto the show.
That's you got to go a little bit. You got to go a little bit more than that. I need some more juice here. You got to pump it up. Come on, give it to me.
Bring the passion, bring the excitement. Just don't bring no nonsense on the sports web.
There you go, Jeremy. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you come strong to the mic. Now, what's on your mind here on the Sports Web?
Not much, brother. Like I said, I'm off the next 2 days. After working 3 in a row, I'm going to be going to the beach tomorrow, enjoying my 4th of July. How about you? You celebrating 4th of July or you got to work?
I'm celebrating 4th of July by trying to make as much money as I can. As you know, I got like 4 jobs now. I not only do sales during the day, sell to Esther and Gertrude and all those characters, but also I do the JP Peterson show. I do the sports web, and also now I do Uber. So I may be around town here. If you need Uber, the Rolex reporter will be in his car trying to make as much money as possible on the holiday. So I don't think I'm going to take off tomorrow. I'm going to try to make as much money. In fact, my goal is to work 12 hours and make about $300 to $400 tomorrow. So that's what I'm going to do.
Hey, you know what? That's what's up, Peter. Make that money, brother. Like
That's
you said,
it.
your heart. I'm saying that's what's up, Peter. Make that money, man.
Yep, that's
what
it.
You gotta do. Just stay safe out there. Watch out for the drunks, man. They're out there. Trust me. There'll be many of them.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand that. And that's the reason why you got Uber in the first place. So you don't have those drunks. And I could tell you all kinds of stories, my friend, of driving drunk people around, drunk women around, all kinds of stories. Hopefully we don't have a lot of drunk people tomorrow. But if we do, we'll definitely be able to handle it. So what's on your mind tonight, my friend?
Not much, man. I'm getting more clarity of Stamkos gone. You know, it was very painful watching him leave. You know, of course, that same day on Monday. But now I've like pretty much moved on. Now it's time to turn the next page onto the next chapter on, you know, our mission to go for a Stanley Cup.
Yeah. No.
You know, you know, I watched you and JP killing it early this morning.
Thank you.
You know, throwing it down. Absolutely, man. JP Peterson show 5 days a week, man. I'm on it.
That's it. That's it. That's what it's all about, my friend. We do it. He does it every day from 10 to 12 noon, and I get an opportunity to do it on Wednesdays. And it was fun. And we got Tampa Bay Ray on there, and of course, and I think there's a lot of emotion that goes into the Stamkos decision. That's why I felt like we had to once again address it, and we'll continue to do that. What are you eating on July 4th? Are you eating hot dogs and hamburgers? Are you eating ribs? What are you eating tomorrow, buddy?
I think I'm going to go with burgers and hot dogs, something simple.
Okay.
I made ribs on Memorial Day, so I think I'm going to go with definitely burgers and hot dogs, something simple, you know, that I can get done quickly with the kids because, you know, when you're at the beach all day, you're gassed out.
Yeah.
There's only so much, you know, so much energy you have left to cook, so that's pretty much what I'm going to have tomorrow.
Okay.
You know, feed the kiddos, enjoy the day, you know, represent, you know, the 813, you know, between Bucs, Lightning, and Rays, even though the Rays can be tough times. But hey, good for them. They're on a hot streak right now. So
well, they are, but they're losing right now as we speak, and they are in a situation. It is still 2-1 Royals here. Sean Armstrong on the mound, 2 men on, 1 out. So we'll definitely keep you abreast of that situation. Jeremy, thanks a lot for the call, man. Appreciate it. Use that second call if you want to. All right, my friend.
I will, man. Happy 4th, man. Stay blessed, brother.
Yeah, man. Happy 4th. Absolutely. Open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So this top 10 list out of Canada is really, really interesting. Like DeBerg, Garcia, King, Dilfer, Friedman, Testaverde, Doug Williams, Brad Johnson, Jameis Winston, and Tom Brady. Anybody have any disagreements with that? Where's Brian Greasy at on that list? He was pretty good. Garcia, I think, should be higher on that list. Sean King and Trent Dilfer, I think you could. Well, although Trent Dilfer did put up some good numbers, though. Josh Freeman, interesting. All right, let's go out to Mike here, a commenter of the night. Did I hear Ozzie say pull hockey out of Canada? You did. 75% of the NHL players are from Canada. Yes, I agree with you. This top 10 is not my opinion. I get that, Mike. When did the Bucs put the GOAT in the Ring of Honor? I've said it. I put it down there. I put my name on it. Week 10 versus the San Francisco 49ers. Tom Brady goes in to the Ring of Honor. Book it. Absolutely book it. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You're on the Evolution.
Tim down in Charlotte.
What's going on, buddy? How you doing tonight?
I'm all right. How are you, bud?
Ben, I love it. I love when you call in. You got Jeremy calling in. You got Curtis calling in. Everybody's like, well, I thought you were going to take off because it's Wednesday and it's the day before July. No, I'm going to get on here with my friends and talk some sports. So what about you, man? What's on your mind?
The offensive line and running the football.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and I heard Leo talking, and I'm a little worried about the center. Just being
with
a
Graham
rookie.
Barton.
Yeah, just because he's a rookie only.
Well,
I think the guy's going to be fine.
I think he's going to be fine too. Now, could there be a transition process there? Absolutely.
That's what I'm getting at. But
right.
in any event, we got to get off the bottom of the pile with this running game.
Well, you got to start pancaking people. You got to start doing what you did during the Super Bowl year and during
Exactly.
those playoff years, is be physical at the point of attack.
Correct.
And that's where your team is built at the end of the day. It really is. People go, it's skill positions, it's quarterback, it's defense. Yes, I get that. But your team, the guts of your team are built within that line. That's what I'm so excited about this year. Both of those lines, especially the offensive one.
But I really want to transition over to the B side too. But still, it helps the passing game too when you run the ball effectively.
Yes.
And then it also helps the defense because you chew up time off the clock.
Agree. And it provides that balance that you need. And got some bad news here. The Royals just get a hit off for Armstrong. What's new here? 2-run single by Salvador Perez. Now 4-1 Royals. So there you go. There's your Rays update. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's we'll see if the Rays can come back, but usually it's been pretty difficult lately to score runs, although they scored 5. So we'll see what they can do here in the later innings. But you're exactly right. And I think, again, adding Graham Barton to it, I know there's a question mark there. He's played some center. He's making that transition. I think these comments are interesting by Todd Bowles as he's getting a good baptism. And he's getting all those reps at this point. And you're going to need him to get as many reps as possible because you expect him to be the anchor of the line. And if he's that anchor of the line, if he's just an improvement over Hansy, you have to feel pretty good. And then on top of it, Tristan Wirfs coming into his second year as a left tackle. You got Luke Haggerty. I love him. And then Cody Mock. And who's your left guard? Right.
Yeah. Well, Cody's got a year in the bank too. I think it's coming together up there.
Yeah.
And, but also transition on the defensive line. We've got to start getting to the quarterback from the defensive end position.
Agree.
That number 9, I think he's just going to be a back, he's going to be NFL minimum type of player.
Well, he may be. And listen, Tim, that's the reason why you drafted Chris Braswell out of Alabama in the first place. You add him to that and don't tell Yaya Diaby. Because I don't know if you saw these comments. I love these comments by Diaby saying, the whole NFL, the national media is sleeping on this Bucs defense, and he's about to show them and wake them up here. And this may be a player that you have to watch for. But you're exactly right. Number 9, a lot of Bucs fans are very disappointed, as they should be, because he's getting a lot of reps. And I was listening to a breakdown from Pat Kerwin on NFL Sirius Radio, which, by the way, that's the reason why it's a great thing to drive Uber, because you get Sirius Radio, you get a chance to listen to NFL radio there, and they were breaking it down, and he was saying in so many words, it's been a detriment because he has all the potential, he's getting the reps, he's getting the opportunities, he's just not taking advantage of it. The production is not there, and somewhere it has to. It's the rubber meets the road. Either he's going to be a guy that you depend on going forward, or he's just a guy. He's just a jag.
Just a guy. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
So
I get to listen to Pat. He comes on the air in Fort Myers twice a week.
Love him.
There.
I love him, man. I love to get him on here.
What's nice is that they talk off the air, and you really get to hear his true thoughts on some things, and it's really awesome.
I get a chance to hear him off here. That's kind of cool, huh?
Yeah, it is. They got a show down there. Maybe sometime talk off the air or something. To listen to them listen to him talk off the air is really cool.
Really cool. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Tim, what are you eating for 4th of July?
It sounds like I'm going to be having ribs.
You're going to have ribs?
I'm really a hamburger hot dog guy with potato salad and all that, but I think we're having ribs tomorrow.
How many hot dogs can you eat, and are you disappointed that Chestnut's not going to be in it?
I couldn't care less about eating contests, but I'll have max is 3 hot dogs, man. three
hot dogs. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Dude.
That's it. No more than that. Are they cheese hot dogs? Did they?
No, the Oscar Mayer, like you were saying.
Yes.
That's pretty much what I have.
Okay. Okay. Good.
But yeah, 3 of them. That's it. No eating contest, none of that stuff. So
all right,
I can't even watch it. Who puts water on a hot dog?
Well, you put it on the bun. Yeah, I know it's so weird, and the way they do it. And I was explaining this today on the JB Peterson show. It's like my dog when I take my dog out, Alexander. He's trying to get a bone, and I'm trying to get away from him, and he does this thing that he's going to the side. That's what it looks like when these guys are trying to dip their bun in that water and eat it. It's so gross. It makes you not want to eat hot dogs. But to that point, I want to see him win another mustard belt. And if he's not in it, I don't think I'm going to watch it. I really don't.
No, I won't.
Yeah. All right. Stamkos leaving. What did you think of that, Tim? And then,
well, I'm not a huge Lightning person, but 16 years with the team.
Yep.
It and I listened to you and JP today.
Thank you.
And it sounds like they kind of they wanted to let him go.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the team, it's short-term pain and a long-term gain, I guess.
Yeah.
But you hate to lose that leadership, man.
You do. I love Steven Stamkos. I think he's amazing. He's amazing story, what he's done. He's a Hall of Famer by far. Right. Like our buddy here, Mike DeRoche, Mr. Canadian himself, says he'll have definitely have a statue outside there, possibly in Thunder Alley. He absolutely deserves all that. He will always be the captain of the Tampa Bay Lightning, in my opinion. Absolutely.
Right.
So
you hate to see it happen, but that's life, man.
Yep. That's it. It's a business, my friend. It's a business.
Exactly.
Tim, appreciate the call. As always, use that second call if you like to, my friend. All right?
Okay. All right, bud. Take care.
All right. Appreciate you. Good stuff there. Let me give him the macho, man.
Yeah.
Love that. Love Tim. Love Curtis. Jeremy calls in. Why aren't you guys calling in here? Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Getting ready to do some turnbuckle talk. I'm just so amazed. Like everybody's like, you're going to do a wrestling show? I don't think anybody's going to like it. Here's the Greek, Dick the Bruiser, all this other stuff. There we got some wrestling fans out there. They appreciate the wrestling knowledge that I provide here on a Wednesday night called Turnbuckle Talk. When we talk WWE action and AEW, let's get back out to these comments here. And again, open phone lines if you want to talk some wrestling, because we're about to get into it. Lots of great things that have been revealed. No player should ever wear 12, just like when NHL retired Wayne Gretzky's 99. Agree. Give you an update right now. Look at this onslaught. Radio Rosarena with a double, and he's going to score. I don't know if that was a jog or what. And you got Ahmad Rosario there with a double. So back-to-back doubles by your Tampa Bay Rays. And now it is 4-2. So they made the game close. So maybe I am some good luck here. My prediction for the Bucs, 11-6. My friend, you are a genius for that. That's exactly my prediction for this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team. I hope the Bucs will give Godwin a new contract. We shall see. People assume because they drafted Jaden McMillan, and of course they have Trey Palmer, that, Chris Godwin's days could be numbered. I'm not ready to say that. I'm not ready to get rid of players, especially ones that are pretty young, and he's a pretty young player. What are you, 27, 28 years old? Stamkos will have a statue outside. Absolutely. Gabrielle says, great show. Drive smart, not hard. Agree with that. Woo! Yes. Let's go out to the junkie himself, Sean, Sean Osborne, but Ozzie, the sports junkie. Thanks, Pete. A lot of fun, bro. Absolutely. Thank you. Always welcome here on the Evolution. Is Shainka a bust? I would say so far, yeah. I would say he's been disappointing, and the production's not there, and he'll be under a lot of scrutiny. And if he doesn't get it done, that's the reason why you draft Braswell in the first place. So he has not gotten it done. So far, yeah, I would say he's definitely a bust. I love wrestling. Stone Cold is my guy. You don't say.
Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
So you're speaking my language here so we can get back to talking Bucs or Lightning or whatever else, but let's get into Turnbuckle Talk. I don't know if you guys watched WWE SmackDown on Friday night, but it had to be the highlight of it all, was it not? With Paul Heyman? I mean, that was probably one of the biggest pops that you will ever see. And by the way, before we get into that, I want to read some of these comments here from TikTok. Tom Brady's got to be number 1. And whoa. This guy's got to stop telling our Tampa secrets. And that's from Ganja Farian there on TikTok. So thanks a lot for tuning in. CK Songbird, thank you very much. Appreciate you as always for tuning in.
Yeah.
So, trying to increase the visibility, if you will, and also became a mod of a group, Trinity there. Use the everyone option tonight. So hopefully if you're tuning in first time to the sports web, what is it? It's a cross between a TV and radio show interaction for the Tampa Bay sports fan. You can call the phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So let's get back to it. WWE SmackDown and Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman, one of the biggest pops. This storyline, I wasn't sure about it. You have the new bloodline now. You have Solo Sikoa leading it as the new tribal chief, and Jacob Fatu, and all these new members, and everybody's excited about it. And he goes to Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's been leading up to this as he was talking to CM Punk, trying to go with him. Of course, they have some history together. You could see Paul Heyman is not comfortable, that he's more comfortable with Roman Reigns. And he's put on the spot by Solo. Acknowledge me. And he says it, I do not acknowledge you as my tribal chief. And that was probably one of the biggest pops that you've ever heard. And I'll tell you what that vehicle does. First and foremost, Heyman, he knows how to sell. Okay, he's one of the greatest wrestling minds, one of the most underrated wrestling minds that's ever been in this business, period. No matter if he was with WCW and the Dangerous Alliance or ECW, say whatever you want to about Paulie Heyman, but not only is a Hall of Famer, but he's one of the greatest minds of all time. But he can still go on the mic. He can still cut a promo, and he can make this storyline work. Because then after that, he gets beaten up, he gets jumped, he gets frog splashed, and then he gets put through a table. He takes a bump at 58 years old, like a soldier, right through the table. And it's so convincing. And I'm going to tell you why it makes lots of sense. Because it builds up the return of the tribal chief. Like a lot of people were tired of that storyline. You're going to love that storyline. Because now you have Roman Reigns going to come back. You have the Usos eventually are going to come back. You're going to have this civil war. I think The Rock is going to be on that side of the new bloodline. I think that's going to happen. That's going to set up. But really what it all sets up is the fact that Roman Reigns is going to be a top babyface in that company. I mean, did you hear that pop? The wise man gets power bombed through the table. Amazing stuff. Really is amazing stuff. So that's definitely going to be good. And that's what it is with Triple H and WWE right now. It's all about long-term booking and long-term storytelling, which has been amazing. Peter, I need to apologize for earlier in the show. I got a little hot. Absolutely no hard feelings. I love this show as always. Brother, we are good here. It's always good to fire you up here. It's good for you to tune in. Tune in any night you want to, any day you want to, my friend. You're a brother. I appreciate your hockey knowledge. You're amazing in what you do. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Because, Mike, you've been with me when we were with Bucs Report. You've always been loyal. You've always been a good guy. You know your stuff here. And even though we don't see eye to eye sometimes, it's okay. We always walk away as friends. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's talk about this guy right here, a new webhead talking wrestling here. Big time wrestling fan of Turnbuckle Talk. Great job. Absolutely great job. We don't have to be quiet here as we are on Policy Scout. Thank you, Peter H. Blake. Absolutely, my friend. Keep on tuning in. You're always welcome. I love the interaction. Again, you don't have to necessarily agree with me. Just respect me. But we will go back and forth when we talk about the Lightning, when we talk about the Bucs, or when we talk about the Rays. But at the end of the day, at the end of the night, we will walk away as friends as long as you continue to call. You need to call in. Mike, if you want to call in, you always have a voice here. You always have an opportunity to do that. So going back to that storyline, I think that's amazing in itself. They have set this up. I wasn't sure if I'm buying it. Of course, you've got Money in the Bank, where you have Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, and they're going to be facing off here. But before we get to that, because I'm getting ahead of myself, I want to get back to that in a moment. I don't know if you saw this, WWE fans, but they released wrestling promotion officially releasing WrestleMania XL Behind the Curtain on Wednesday on YouTube. It's a behind-the-scenes documentary about April 17th event that saw Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Roman Reigns, and many other featured. It premiered tonight at 7 p.m. The documentary was known and originally scheduled to be released on April 20th. The event featured 14 different matches, including a main event that saw Johnson and Reigns defeat Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins in a tag team match, which definitely a great match if you want to go back and watch it. The following night, Rhodes would get revenge over Reigns to earn the undisputed Universal WWE Championship. That's how you do it. Also, Cody Rhodes was asked on The Pivot, of course, the American Nightmare, talking about The Rock and his appearance there. And this is what he had to say. Where we could butt heads is in the idea that you could just come back in the midst of a story that was taking place, and just because you're The Rock, you could step into the starting lineup and take WrestleMania for yourself. Rhodes goes on to say a lot of people will say he's The Rock. He can do whatever he wants. I even saw this really fun podcast with two wrestling heads talking back and forth, and they said, I'm sure Cody's fine stepping aside for WrestleMania and then doing it later in the year. And in my mind, I'm thinking, that's insane. That's the Super Bowl for what we do. Rhodes goes on to say, to get to this Sunday, the last day of WrestleMania, the last match is our Super Bowl. And it used to be financially to get that match was the big money match. And when the pay was all different, the idea that somebody thought I was just going to be cool with it, they don't know me. That's nonsense. Love the word there, Cody. I worked my whole life for this. Rock should know I wouldn't be cool with it. I think maybe that's an understanding that him and I had. He found out I'm not cool with it. That's a good thing, because you know who wasn't cool with it? The Rock was Steve Austin, and they made magic together. One of the greatest wrestling rivalries of all time, period. They rubbed together so much, and they created diamonds, and they made magic together. So I do have a lot of respect for him. Of course, this leads into another storyline, which was what was given by the final boss, The Rock, to Cody Rhodes. And people say it was a Rolex. And that's exactly what it was, because Cody at the time gave Rolexes to not only The Rock and Seth Rollins, and of course, Roman Reigns. And you remember the final boss saying, "You broke my heart." The Rock told Rhodes at Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania that he would see him when he returned, and Rhodes said his head has been on a swivel ever since. Rhodes, of course, is still the champion and now dealing with the bloodline, though it is led by Solo Sikoa, who has had a lot of firepower by his side. So there you go. Interesting. And I think they did pivot. Like, I think that may have been the plan at the time. And then they saw the fans and the response, and they responded to it. And that's how you have to respond to it. But how was that whole, leading up to WrestleMania 40 not cinema for you? Like, we continue to talk about it. And I was asking Titus O'Neil, and I got to get that segment where I asked him point blank, how good was it for the business? How good was it for Cody Rhodes? And he goes on to say, in so many words, Rhodes paid his dues. And even when he was Stardust, he embraced that. So it was good for Rhodes. He knew Rhodes. It was good for the backstage. It was good for the business. And like he said, pure cinema, especially with The Rock coming aboard. Whether he's a board member or not of TKO, to me, he definitely brings some juice, if you will, to the wrestling business. Open phone line, 727-255-0391 at 727-255-0391. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. Hey, Pete, I've been here, but I haven't commented yet. Well, what's going on, Christopher? Where you at, my friend? You need to comment here. We're doing Turnbuckle Talk. We're talking about the wrestling, what's going on in the wrestling world right now, and also talking Lightning, Bucs, and Rays right now. Update the score. Bottom of the eighth, Rays got shut down now. It is 4-2 Royals over the Tampa Bay Rays. Royals and Rays, Royals and Rays, Royals and Rays. Say that 3 times. So there you go. Of course, Rhodes is set to take part in a 6-man tag team match at Money in the Bank this weekend. Are you looking forward to that? Because you've got Sikoa, you got Tama Tonga, you got Tonga Loa, and he's going to have Randy Orton, Kevin Owens on his team with Cody. Is this what you want to see? Is this the match? Do we see The Rock this weekend? Do we see Roman Reigns? Did they reveal that? Or did they save that coming up? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Always enjoy cutting up with Pete and Leo. Love it, my friend. Love it, especially playing the riffs there. You played Voodoo Child, of course, Hogan's theme song there of NWO. Want you to play NWO all together. Tell you what, let's go out to Mr. Jeremy here. Mr. Excitement bringing his second call here to Turnbuckle Talk. Hold on a second here. Stand by. Frankie, I know you want to talk, but let me go out to Jeremy. We'll go to Jeremy and we'll go to you. Stand by here. Let's go out to Jeremy. Jeremy, what's on your mind? Welcome to Turnbuckle Talk.
Yes, sir. Talking wrestling. I love it.
Yes, man. That's what we do. Tell your friends. That's what we do here on the Evolution.
Oh, I tell them all the time, acknowledge me. That's
acknowledge you. Yes, exactly.
Acknowledge me.
You know who's been
Yes,
missing
sir.
on this show? It's been Roger Shue. Where the hell are you at, Roger? He says first, and I'll be in and out tonight. Well, you haven't been on at all. You did one comment, and then you've been out.
This guy sucks.
I mean, what did you do, Roger? Did you fall asleep? I mean, you're old, I guess, so it's past your bedtime. With that being said, I'm tired of throwing him underneath the bus here. Jeremy, what's on your mind here on Turnbuckle Talk?
I'm telling you, man, the bloodline's getting a little deeper, man. It's hyping me up, man. We can't forget about the White Sits, man.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Well, that certainly seems like that's a storyline that's upcoming. I mean, all these storylines right now, you got Liv and Dom. That's also going full bloom. They seem like they're going to get together. It seems like the bloodline, not the bloodline, but Judgment Day is going to break up. Damian Priest maybe going in separate ways with losing to Seth this weekend. I mean, so many great things going on in WWE. Not saying AEW is not great. They got their own storylines with, of course, Britt Baker talking tonight, coming back. She's going to wrestle Mercedes Moné. That's going to happen. But right now, WWE head and shoulders better wrestling, better storylines than AEW. Agree?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, AEW is doing what they can, I mean, I've never been too much into AEW, but I have friends that are in AEW, so I respect their opinions. But my attention is more toward WWE. I mean, Paul Levesque has been killing it right now, putting all these storylines together, and I agree with you. I think Damian Priest just was on the last Monday Night Raw carrying that belt. Because let's all admit, no one's going to be excited to watch Damian Priest versus Gunther at SummerSlam. They're going to want Gunther versus Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Rollins brings it and everything, in my opinion. And Gunther ain't nothing to look past to. I mean, the man has come a long way. I remember watching him when he was Walter back in NXT. I mean, the guy is a stud. And then as far as that's the bloodline.
A pure ring general who definitely transformed his body throughout the years. Absolutely. Astute point on your yes. Absolutely.
Let's not forget about Braun Breaker, Peter.
Yes.
Braun Breaker, that dude. Oh my God.
Are they not booking him like a killer? I mean, you talk about Scott Steiner, his uncle, and that's what I see with him when he gets on the mic. I know he's Rick Steiner's son, but I see him more as Scott. And what a hell of a storyline they've been able to book. And I'm kind of curious, are they going to put him over on Sami Zayn? How do you protect Breaker in this storyline to still make him look strong?
I think they're moving far forward with Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn has had a great run from tag team champions with Kevin Owens for a little while to beating the Usos a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And then he got the strap from Gunther being the ring general, because the ring general, let's all admit, he hasn't gotten pinned in a long time, and Sami Zayn was the guy to do it.
Sure.
So hats off to Sami Zayn. I think he's going to be a future world champion very soon. But now, I think right now, the team is just very high on Braun Breaker, and it wouldn't surprise me if he takes the strap off Sami Zayn and create a rivalry all the way to SummerSlam, which I would get behind big time.
So you like Braun Breaker to beat Sami Zayn, and who do you think he's going to take on? Who do you like him to take on? Sami
Well,
Zayn?
I think he's gonna be on a little rivalry with Sami Zayn. You know,
yeah.
Sami Zayn's a very good performer.
It's over. He's over with the crowd. He's great on the mic. A lot of people love him. A lot of people love the fact of him and how he went over on Gunther. I don't know if you take the championship off of him. I think I agree with you on the fact of having a long-time rivalry here with a couple matches, which will definitely help out Breakker, get him over with the crowd. But I think he's already over. He was over in NXT, and he's definitely over now, and make him that true badass, which is what the storyline was all about in the first place.
Well, and the reason why I say that, Peter, the reason why I'm throwing that in there is because you mentioned the bloodline, how Sikoa is building this like crazy team. And I'm a big Jacob Fatu fan. That dude is a baller. I think he's a great addition. He's my favorite one in the group, honestly.
You know who he gives me? You know who reminds me of? Umaga. That's he gives me those Umaga vibes. That's what he gives me.
Oh yeah, I mean he's like a walking wall. There's no, I mean he's that intimidating guy. Like I wouldn't want to be in the ring with him. Like I would run.
Right.
Not even to wrestle. And I used to wrestle in high school, Peter. So trust me, I wouldn't take half these guys on. And as far as Jacob Fatu, I'm more afraid of him than I would be a Sikoa, but I see what they're doing. I get it.
Why is that, though? Because I've heard that a lot on the internet, and I see the same thing. It certainly seems like Fatu has more charisma. Like I said, he has that Umaga vibe. He is the enforcer. I feel like he's going to steal the shine. Like, he's going to be a superstar. He's already a superstar. He's going to ascend even more once he leaves the bloodline. That's what I think.
Well, not just him, but his brother too. His brother's out there, outside of the right now, but he'll be coming in soon. Another one. I keep forgetting his name. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You got Tama Tonga and you got Tonga Loa.
No. I'm talking about Jacob. There's another guy that's, I believe, is Umaga's son. He's in the independent bracket right now.
Okay.
And I believe he made a comment when he saw Jacob Fatu first appeared. He put "See you soon." So that's another thing I have to look past. I mean, I think the bloodline wars are a lot bigger, but I do like the fact how you bring The Rock and Roman into this. It's just going to set for a big fight come next WrestleMania. We all know it's going to be Roman versus The Rock, whether The Rock has the strap or he takes it from Cody, or they just make it pretty much a simple one-on-one main event like they did him and John Cena back in 12.
Yeah.
But I want to get back to Sami Zayn.
Okay.
I think Sami Zayn's going to end up teaming up with Jey Uso. I think Jimmy's going to come back. They're going to bring the Usos back to kind of help back up Roman Reigns. That's where this is all coming to, I feel that, Roman's going to turn babyface, obviously. Obviously, that's where we're looking at right now.
Sure.
As far as him. But the Bloodline and the Bloodline 2.0 is what I'm calling it. And I'm telling you right now.
You like it? Have you embraced it?
I've embraced it, yes. But I can't get behind Cody versus Solo at SummerSlam. That's what's been the hype right now.
Okay.
I just can't get behind that. To me, Peter, this is what I predict. If I can throw it out there real quick.
Sure.
Because we're talking wrestling. We don't
throw
talk
it out
wrestling.
There. Yes.
My thing is this. I think Roman comes back a lot sooner. And I think he tries to retake control of the bloodline. Give them a choice. Either you're with me or you're out. Okay? Simply. I think Roman gets his rematch at SummerSlam with Cody. They battle it out. And I think at the end of the day, Solo and the Bloodline make their choice. And Roman's out. They screw him out of the belt. And that's where the whole rivalry starts kicking in, to where Jey, Jimmy team up again for a little bit to help Roman out, their cousin, get Sami Zayn, recruit him in there. And then I think The Rock, I believe he got injured doing the movie he was doing. So I'm thinking The Rock may come back around Royal Rumble.
That's what I'm thinking.
And either he's going to come back and take the strap off Cody, by getting the bloodline behind him.
Or they're going to be a WrestleMania. It's going to be a WrestleMania match. I don't know how you do it, but right now there's so many good things that you can do with this. Again, you could do a bloodline civil war. You can do Roman Reigns versus the final boss and The Rock. You could do the final boss versus Cody. I think that match definitely will sell. This is what Mark Henry had to say, and then I'll let you go. And this was on Busted Open Radio about Roman Reigns being villainous now, getting over with the fans. He says, when Roman Reigns comes back and says, "Wise man, thank you for supporting me but I need you to not be at ringside because I can't be responsible for what I'm going to do to them for putting their hands on you. Roman is going to come back as the biggest baby face since Shawn Michaels. Henry recounts watching Michaels plead with crying fans in the front row who believe so much in the Heartbreak Kid that they would sometimes jump the barricade to help the former WWE champion. I think that's where Roman is going to be. Roman is going to be the biggest baby face of this decade. What do you say? Because I definitely agree with that, because I think Roman is going to come back. He's not going to be a heel. He's going to be a baby face. He's going to get over with the crowd. This was smart by WWE. What do you say? Do you agree with Mark Henry?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I totally like the idea where Mark Henry is coming from. I agree. He's going to come back as probably one of the biggest one of the biggest baby faces in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy was hated for what? From 2019, 2020, all the way to 2024.
Absolutely.
Now, it's kind of like the Triple H effect. Remember, Triple H was a heel for a long time.
Yep. And then he gets hurt and comes back in 2002 and at Madison Square Garden with the jacket. And of course, MJF just came back about a month ago with the same type of jacket. And the pop, you can remember that pop at Madison Square Garden was deafening. And at that point, it didn't matter if Triple H was a heel or a face, which at the time he was a face, and then eventually he turned heel again with, forming Evolution with Randy Orton and Batista, and of course Ric Flair that followed. But at that point, he was a guy, he was a face, he was over, the crowd loved him. I think the same thing can happen with Roman Reigns. Jeremy, yeah, go ahead, man. Finish up.
I just want to throw one more thing out there. Let's go to the female division.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing Rhea Ripley return and just go flat out batshit crazy on Liv Morgan. I can't wait to watch that. I know it's going to be a hell of a match whenever that comes. I'm thinking hopefully around SummerSlam.
Right.
I think we're going to see Rhea Ripley return way before then. That's going to be a fun time to watch. And you got to admit, Dominic Mysterio is living the best life right now. He's living the best life.
Yep.
As a WWE performer right now.
Oh, he is. He's absolutely living, and he's definitely over with the crowd in the way of having that natural heel heat there. Absolutely correct. And I think, Rhea Ripley will no longer be a part of the Judgment Day because the storyline will be Liv eventually will be with Dom. She will take everything that Rhea has, and that's the whole build-up, and that's the whole big payoff where Rhea comes back, takes her championship, and most likely kicks Dom to the curb. Jeremy, thanks a lot for the 2 calls tonight here, especially this one on Turnbuckle Talk. All right, my friend?
Absolutely, man. Take care, Peter.
All right. Good stuff there. Let's go out to the hill. Mark, a.k.a. Frankie from Wisconsin. Welcome to Turnbuckle Talk. What's on your mind tonight?
What is going on?
I'm telling you, right?
Got the heel mark.
Yes.
Got the heel mark.
Yes.
Woo! Have you been seeing my reels?
Oh, I know that you're trying to get Joe Henry to follow you. Have you been successful? Which, by the way, one of those reels, the Spider-Man one, that was freaking great, man. That was genius on your part.
Spider-Man one, he shared to his story.
Okay.
And I was like, ooh.
There you go.
Ooh. And yeah, that one's got I think 5,000 likes and almost 2,000 shares.
Hey, man, great job. Hopefully you get what you want.
All I gotta say is believe in Joe Hendry and acknowledge me.
Oh, well, I'll acknowledge you.
Acknowledge me.
All right, Frankie, what do you got? What else is on your mind?
So everybody has been calling and talking WWE, and that's fine. There's a lot of good stuff going on with WWE, but you got Heat Wave that's coming up this weekend too.
That is correct. Yeah,
you got Heat Wave,
yes,
and you got that Fatal 4-Way for the NXT title.
Say it 3 times there, my friend. Absolutely tough to say. Right? Fatal 4-Way, Fatal 4-Way. Yes.
Did you see when they were talking to Mello?
Mm-hmm.
And they called him Carmelo Anthony backstage, and I was just like, I bet you any money everybody in Turnbuckle Talk is going, Frankie, heel mark.
Phil, right, exactly. Well, somebody else did it instead of you doing it. So there you go. It worked out for you. Yes.
But Melo is my pick to walk away with men's Money in the Bank.
Okay.
Just say like everyone's saying Jey Uso. Jey Uso doesn't need it. You know what I mean?
No, Jey doesn't need it. Yeah.
No, but like you think if you put the case on Melo and have him wait till like Mania, like Damian Priest, oh gosh.
Well,
that's his money.
What about Drew McIntyre? What about giving him the case?
I don't want to see him with the case.
You don't see him with the case?
I don't want to see him with the case. I want to see the CM Punk Drew McIntyre thing keep going.
Well, I want to see it keep going too, but I want to see a belt. I want to
good.
see a belt involved. Don't you want to see a belt involved eventually?
I don't think you need a belt involved for that storyline.
Good point.
I really don't.
Very good point. Very good point.
But where everyone's like, has anyone been paying attention to TNA?
Well, not only TNA, but also AEW. I mean, AEW's been real hot right now, but I've been trying to pay attention to, WWE every
The doctor is in.
The doctor is in.
The doctor is in, and she's going to take a title away from CEO because you don't need DMD in a theme song to get everybody to chant it.
Well,
like
you know who are talking about, Britt Baker. She absolutely definitely needs to come back with that women's division, and it's going to be good. That's going to be a good title match. You could see Mercedes Moné's face at the end of the pay-per-view. That was classic in itself. I think everybody's anticipating that match. I think
this is something I predicted for tomorrow night, and my buddy was like, I don't think so. And I was just like, just hear me out. Because I literally said that because he is the hottest thing in wrestling right now.
Right.
That Joe Hendry will have a spot on Slammiversary. And they're like, he's not going to win that match. So I'm like, no, he's not going to win the match.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I know he's over. You could see he's over.
AJ Francis is going to get involved, cost in the match, and he will have a rematch for the title at Slammiversary against AJ.
Okay. All right. Good stuff.
That's just my thought.
Good prediction.
Everyone should watch TNA.
I'm trying to watch TNA and I'm trying to watch AEW. Right now, I'm watching a lot of the highlights. I watch some of the shows. I especially watched SmackDown last Friday night.
Wrestling 5 days a week.
I know, but I gotta work.
And you got 7 days a week this week.
Yeah, I know.
God, it's such a great time to be a wrestling fan.
I know. I love it, man. I love your excitement here. Let me go out to Bleacher Report and their prediction, what they have to say about who gets the briefcase. And you can comment on this really quick while you're here. Heel Mark, of course, Frankie from Wisconsin. The big question mark here is CM Punk. If he gets involved and costs Drew McIntyre the win, Jey Uso is the safest pick, but a wild card such as Carmelo Hayes getting the briefcase is not out of the question. However, maybe a Stephen A. Smith. However, McIntyre feels like a lock. He is as hot as he's ever been as a character, and WWE needs to capitalize on his momentum. Sadly, everyone else feels like they are included just to fill the space. So I think I think it could be McIntyre.
Yeah, I honestly think it's Melo. On the women's side,
yeah,
I think we're looking at it's Tiffy time.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right.
It's Tiffy time.
Listen, that is exactly what Bleacher Report said. Tiffany Stratton has been on the ascent since debuting on the main roster, and is well on her way to becoming a champion. Winning the briefcase can keep her busy for the foreseeable future and allow her to cash in when she's ready for a run with the title. No one in the match needs it more. I agree with that. I want to go out to Dave here, big-time Cubs fan. Cubs have wasted many starts this year, last 3 by steal as well. We saw that kid pitch down here with the Rays. They wasted his start too. It's a shame. He deserves better, and the Cubs right now in a tailspin. Exactly right, Dave.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So
we're selling our team again. I'm telling you, man.
Yep. Selling, my friend. Sell. All right. What else is on your mind?
Blue Light special, everybody. Come on.
What else is on your mind tonight?
Man, other than I'm so excited for Money in the Bank.
Yep.
I'm so excited for Heat Wave. Like, dude, I'm on the dude. You got to be excited for the reel that I'm posting tomorrow.
Okay,
I will give you a hint.
Yes.
Yes, it does involve Joe Hendry.
Oh God, can we please move on from Joe Henry at this point? Can we post something else?
No.
Okay.
No, but it will not involve his music.
Okay, thank God. I'm getting tired of that
song. It does not involve his music at all.
Thank you, God. All right, there's a God. All right, Hillmark. All right, Frankie from Wisconsin. Appreciate the 2 calls tonight. Keep on tuning in to Turnbuckle Talk, all right?
All right, man. Have a great night.
All right, man. Appreciate you. I'll acknowledge you.
Acknowledge me.
All right, open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's Turnbuckle Talk. I'm your host, Peter Blake, here on the Sports Web. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. Yeats or McIntyre? Definitely can't go wrong. I think McIntyre from that article is definitely hot right now. And then you have the storyline with CM Punk. As I said, when that match happens, just take my money. Because both of those guys, they need to be involved, whether Punk is healthy or not. And by the way, did you see the beatdown that Drew McIntyre gave CM Punk a couple weeks ago? Again, pure cinema. That's how you build a storyline, AEW. Which I love AEW. The matches are amazing, but you got to do a better job of storytelling. And that's why Shane McMahon has been mentioned the last couple of weeks to come on there and start writing some of these storylines. If anybody could do it, it's Shane McMahon. I wouldn't hate that at all. That's definitely something that AEW has to improve on, and that's definitely something that Triple H and the administration so far has capitalized on with the storytelling, especially the long-term booking. On the June 21st edition of SmackDown, Chelsea Green defeated Bianca Belair and Michin to earn her way to the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match on July 6th, which is coming up this weekend. Speaking on a recent edition of Busted Open Radio, WWE Hall of Famer Bully Ray put his support firmly behind Green in the match. In fact, he says, 1,000% who I want to win is Chelsea Green. Who do I think will win? Lyra. Chelsea with that briefcase is entertainment gold. It's just gold, but it's never going to happen. Tiffany or Lyra will win. Continuing on with saying Chelsea Green, he says, I hate the word deserve when it comes to pro wrestling. But she deserves it. You get what you earn. Shut up. Chelsea, in my opinion, has earned the right to be thrown a bone to give her more TV time. Because as I said, as you backed up, Chelsea with that briefcase, she will make that briefcase mean more than anybody else. She will look at that briefcase as if it is the more important than the Women's World Championship. So that's Bully Ray. That's what he thinks. Also, when it comes to ratings, WWE on Monday night had a 1.88 million viewership with an 0.62 rating from 18 to 49. In fact, that's the highest rating they've had since the night after WrestleMania. They go on to say the combination of angles clicking right now with Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio, the Wyatt Six angle. They came out the other night. Morgan disrupting Judgment Day, which is Liv again, and leading to issues with Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Let's go out to Mr. Williams. What's good, Mr. Williams, with you? Long time no here, my friend, as we're happy 4th. Asked a question out there tonight about the Tampa Bay Lightning, about Steven Stamkos. Are the Lightning a better team? We talked about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers being thrown out there. Adam Rank having the Bucs at 6-11. Once again, the national media and the disrespect of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What do you think of that? Gerald McCoy. should he get in before Tom Brady does? I still think Brady gets in this year. And what are you eating on July 4th? Is it hamburgers and hot dogs? Is it ribs? Is it steak? I haven't heard any steak tonight. I'm surprised by that. I hear no steak at all. I hear nothing but hot dogs and hamburgers and some ribs. Now, maybe this changes. Well, it's probably going to change because Mr. Williams is going to call up. We're all in Mr. Williams' world here. Mr. Williams, welcome to the Evolution. What's on your mind tonight, boss?
Hey, man, Peter, what's going on, man?
What's going on, buddy? How you doing? Happy Independence Day, July 4th.
Yeah, man. Actually, it's my oldest daughter's birthday tomorrow.
Oh, well, hold on a second. Let me see if I can sing a little bit here. Let me see. My singing voice is not the greatest. Let me see if I could sing her a song, and you could send this to her. Let me see. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. How about that? There you go. How's that? Is that good? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right.
All right, Harry. Harry is somewhere listening because I know
he ain't here tonight. I think he's past his bedtime. He decided to go to sleep. Roger decided to go to sleep. Tampa Ray Kennedy, he's missing in action. He probably fell asleep.
But I am now this young man that says something about my Buccaneers going 6-11.
Yeah, that's Mr. Adam Rank of NFL Network. Be mad at that, my friend, because the national media continues the disrespect of your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's not good.
Yeah, and no, that's not good at all.
No.
And number 6 gonna show them why he's still here and why he got another contract.
Well, that's actually the reason why Rank says they're 6-11 because of Baker Mayfield, believe it or not.
No, we gave him some more extra
motivation.
Weapons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gave him some more extra weapons.
Yeah.
And he is with an offensive coordinator now that he's very familiar with.
Okay.
So we're going to see a lot of different plays.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a lot of play action fake this year.
Love that. Love to hear that. You
Okay.
need balance in an offense, especially the running game and the improved offensive line, Mr. Williams. Yes.
Yeah, man. And I'm so glad that we're going to get Tristan Wirfs together because we need him.
Yes, you do. You do. He's coming second year as a left tackle here. You're going to be excited about him and his ascension.
He made a big transition.
He did.
From right to left.
It was flawless, was it not?
Yeah, man, but that guy, out of the time he got here, it wasn't no Sykes on his side.
No.
He's an all-time pro offensive lineman.
He is. He is.
In my book, because since he got here, his side have been very protected, and the young man know how to protect his quarterback.
Well, you got to. If you're a left tackle, you're getting paid that big money, and we assume that Tristan is going to get paid big time money, which he deserves.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Your blindside protector, you better definitely be on your P's and Q's. That's for sure.
Yeah, man, we're gonna pay him because Jason Light. I hope you guys looking at what that man did on the right side of that line, and then he moved over to the left side of the line. Come on, man. That man deserves his money.
Well, he'll get his money, and I think Jason Light will definitely take care of him. I can't wait till that happens because that's when the boat parade takes place.
And this is going to be the year of the Godwin and Mike neighborhood, and we're going to have our favorite 2 guys, man, going to get this double-digit 1,000 yards this year.
Yep.
Because we're going back to get, I believe, the 5th title of the South, man.
Love it. Love it.
We'll see nobody else in the South. Antoine Winfield, man, you keep up the good work, man.
Yeah.
And I got Mr. Whitehead back.
Well, you got Whitehead back, and you heard what Yaya Diaby said. He said people are sleeping on this defense. We're going to wake them up. What do you think about those comments, huh?
Oh yeah, most definitely, man.
Yeah.
Because that a young man, I didn't know that he was gonna make a big impact.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess he was hurt half of the regular season. But when he came out, man, and he made a big difference.
He did. He absolutely did make a big difference.
And number 9, if he don't step up this year, I don't see him here next year.
I agree with you. I think it's a big year for Joe Tryon-Shoyinka.
Yeah.
That's the reason why you draft Braswell in the first place from Alabama. You got to be productive. You got to start finishing and start.
Because we got a guy that's gonna be coming off of that line that came from Alabama this year.
Yep.
That young man, I forgot his name, but
Braswell, Chris Braswell.
Yeah. And that boy got an injury, and he's doing a hell of a job in this rookie training camp, man.
Yep. I agree.
Because that's all they talking about, the way he coming off, and he can transition from the line to linebacker, man.
Well, he definitely can, and they're going to use him on the edge, my friend. And I think it's going to be exciting to see him. I think there's a lot of great expectations for Mr. Braswell.
And Mr. Hall.
Yeah.
This is going to be his year. He needs to step up also.
He does. There's 2 guys on this team that definitely need to step up that you need to be watching. Is Logan Hall and, of course, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. Yes.
Yeah, because I don't see them 2 guys here next season, man.
If they're not productive enough, I could definitely I can understand that, because Jason Light will turn the page. Yeah, he'll turn the page if it's not working.
Because y'all done been here too long.
Sure.
You guys already know our system. You all know what we expect. And number 9, Hall, you were one of the best guys that woo number 90, man. Jason Pierre-Paul, man, that was his number.
Yeah.
That was his number when he was here.
Yeah, Logan Hall has been very disappointing, only a half a sack, so he's definitely got to be more productive. Mr. Williams.
All right, hey, man.
Yes.
You guys doing a hell of a job.
Thank you.
And tell Harry
he owes you wings again.
Yeah, and when y'all come down for training camp, just call me on my regular phone.
Okay.
And I'm coming out there to walk up on Harry. Don't even let him know I'm coming.
I won't let him know at all. In fact, we'll have to have a surprise get together with Mr. Williams and all the webheads coming out and having some chicken wings with us. How about that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man, I love you guys, man.
Love you too, brother.
Work, man.
Appreciate you.
All right, man. You guys keep up the good work, and let's go get this 4 NFC South title.
Yeah, I'd like it. Let's go! All right, Mr. Williams. Happy 4th. We'll see you soon. Yep. All right, my friend? All right, good stuff there. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Got some responses here. Michelle Cato says, maybe a ribeye. I like that. That's good. Celebrate American. And New York strip. That definitely works for me. All right, guys, so we'll wrap up Turnbuckle Talk right there. Thanks a lot to all the guests tonight, guys. It's been over 2 hours of phone calls and interaction. You got to love that. If you don't know what the Sports Web is, it is a cross between a TV and radio show with interaction, phone calls, text messages, whether you're right or wrong. You have an opinion on this show, you always are welcome to share it, because you, the Tampa Bay sports fan, the sports fan in general, are the lifeblood of what this show is all about. Thanks a lot to all the guests. Of course, the legend, Mr. Leo Haggerty, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions and Amped Up Sports. Ozzie, the sports junkie, making his way back. And, of course, all the calls, all the comments. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. Facebook stars are out there if you like the content. YouTube Super Chats. Get on Instagram. Go and like and subscribe to that. Go like and subscribe to TikTok. We are just growing the show over and over again, minute by minute, hour by hour, month by month, year by year. 67 days until football season. 3 things. You know them, you love them, you got to have them. So here it is. Can you handle it? I hope you can. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the sports web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, it's your time. Happy 4th, and we'll see you soon on the evolution of Sports Talk Television.